This morning. Oh, Mommy, I got my pasty. Please, and run to me and let me see. Oh, she's a bunny, y'all. She's a bunny this morning. Come here, bunny girl. Come here, bunny girl. Oh, I'm so fat.
Constantly explore the route of possibilities. Contribute to what we do is call out to the good guys. Good guys. Good guys. Good guys. Which is where those bigger mistakes. Entertaining, calming linguists. Good guys. Forum of decorum needs a secretive society. Advent on philosophies, intentionally, magically good guys, good guys, good guys, good guys. Witches, weirdos, mischief making. It's okay to change your thinking. Good guys. Good guys, good guys.
Ourselves, good guys. What are you guys doing this afternoon, this evening, this midnight? How are you?
Fantastic. You know, just a little tokey toke, little smoky smoke.
I have yet to get my smoke on. I was waiting until I joined my favorites, my favorite people in space.
And out of space? I don't know.
Inner space, in this inner circle.
How's your week going?
It's like a Mercury retrograde, right?
Yeah.
Like stuff in space is fucking with us.
I'm actually having a better week this week.
Good.
Like a high energy week.
Feels like it's coming around.
I think it's good, but I think it's like purging. It's a purge week or something.
Mm-hmm. I had mine already.
Oh,
it's great.
What am I doing? I should be using this cup. Look, I got Chaney's mug on my mug.
I love it.
Here we
I love it.
Get Kevin Spacey off.
There we are.
Let me do Kevin Spacey out of my face.
Chaney.
So dope.
So we can have Chaney's face again. This is like
it's
fucking
Cinderella.
cool. Look at that. Ripping.
Dope. I
That's
got mine
what's
on
up.
too.
It is dope.
Yeah.
Very
Yeah.
nice. Very nice.
Chilling. So this week has been interesting. I guess there hasn't been that much. I don't know. I haven't been paying attention to the news. I know everything was like real big on the Kevin Spacey thing. And so he was on Tucker Carlson. So we were like, oh, we'll throw around Spacey. But then we were talking about space and all the ways that this could be implemented into conversation. So that's where this came up. But I was thinking about this week and how some people just need some motherfucking space.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, I would
Yeah.
love to pay attention to the
Yeah,
media
sure.
right now, but what I had to go through in 2020 with the election and the jibbity jabbity juice and trying to, red pill everybody, and man, oh my God, I'm glad like my mental is still like intact after all that. And I'm just like, do I even want to even get involved with all of this going on right now? Like, I'll just like, you know, change a channel or whatever, look at whatever news clip or whatever's in right now. And I'm just like, oh, what did Vivek say? Oh, cool. What did Trump say? Oh, cool. Am I doing digs like I did before? I don't know if I could do that again. I don't know if I got the energy to do that again, you know?
It's tough when stuff happens. Like a lot people don't have these kind of community. Well, I think there's a lot now,
Mhm.
but we didn't have these kind of communities where we could bounce stuff off each other either.
Yeah.
You know,
no,
now we do, thank God. But
yeah.
like,
But Chaney
to
knows
deal
like
with this shit.
the Q digs. Oh my God, man. Oh my God. It's like we knew it all. Like,
I
like
feel like you just
everything.
got us taken down off the line.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
the,
it.
Like that's
Whatever.
the one thing you
the-
still can't say.
the QWERTY digs, you know, the
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I know. Like the Wayfair, and then people are saying, like, I think Liz Crokin this week was coming or last week and saying that a lot of similar stuff is being found on Etsy.
yeah. Oh yeah. It's just
That would be on cyberspace.
Space.
I
What
had to
is
remind
space?
Howie Mandel this week when he was on live.
Oh, tell us about that, dude. Okay. I
Anytime
saw
I
this,
see
but I
these
don't
up.
know what was. Yeah, talk about this.
Anytime I see him on live anywhere, Howie Mandel, I will caps lock shoe stuff like repeatedly, just mass post it, just so he has a reminder of that, because we're not fucking stupid. Because he took that video of him, with the whole Wayfair situation where he took a brown bag, wrote shoe stuff on it, but with the number 5 for the S's. And that was I guess another way to, I guess it's the synthesized version of adrenochrome. It's like a version of adrenochrome that you can get. So he's on there on his video talking about, oh, here's a little project. Just write shoe stuff on a brown paper bag, cut the tops of it for some reason, and here you go. You have a bag for shoe stuff. And we all figured out what the rabbit hole was. And he had the audacity to take the same video, repost it with the tag saying, I don't know why people are tying this with kidnapping. Are you fucking kidding me, my friend? So anytime I see him on live, I will do that. I will remind him.
Layla trolls the fuck out of him.
Yeah, I will remind him. I do not forget, and I will remind everybody.
You need a troll badge.
Yeah,
I just want
Major
to let the audience know real quick. Hit the like and subscribe one. You can love it and stroke it and lick it. And I
Lick
just
it.
also want to tell you that Paranoid American, he had some driving to do and some family stuff, and he may or may not be in later, but maybe not. He doesn't know how he usually feels after a long drive. But another thing, we have a big, huge surprise plan for you. I'll talk about it later in the show, and he'll definitely be around for that. And well, it's not even a big, huge surprise. It's on the link. We're gonna hang out on New Year's Eve, but we'll talk about it more later.
Yeah.
But I just wanted to let people know. They're like, where is Paranoid American at? He's
I
not
miss
gonna be
him
here
too,
'cause we're
y'all. I
gonna
miss
talk
him
shit
too.
about space. And they're like, I knew he was a NASA Mason.
He's not going to talk about
Trying to
it.
push that fucking globe Earth shit on
Certain
us.
things you
I
can't
had that
talk about.
conversation today with someone, my boss and this customer were talking about. All I heard was, "Oh, so you believe the Earth is flat?" And I turn around and I'm like, well, I kind of do. Well, let's just say that this. Let's put it this way: I don't believe we live in a ball. He's like, "What do you mean? Explain this to me." And I went in for fucking half an hour with him. He's like, "Wow, you're crazy." I was like, "Yep, I am. I know it. I am totally crazy." But I mean, my eyes can't deceive me that easily. Yes, it'll deceive me, but not that easily. Like I got something up here, you know? Just physics explains that we are not in a ball with an atmosphere.
See, I disagree. It's not a ball necessarily, but so here's where I've been kind of leaning to this.
I love this. Oh, we're good.
Okay, all right, here we go.
Get
Is the
into
space
it.
The space thing had me on this idea of just defining what is space, like a void between pieces of matter, essentially, right? Is the space. So just everything is micro, as above, so below, is in the micro and the macro, right? So when things are more solid, like this, it just means that the atoms are tighter together, right? There's less space between them, the matter, right? Because everything's in motion. That's the other hermetic thing. This is all hermetics, but everything is in motion, and so everything kind of acts as a liquid. Even the matter acts as a liquid, right? Like we know this from earthquakes. When you see the ripple go out, even the rock acts as a liquid.
Yeah,
And
but
even
space.
hot enough,
Space.
enough, it acts as a liquid, right?
Uh-huh.
So if all matter kind of eventually at some sort of macro level acts as a liquid, water without a vessel, water is only flat when you observe it, but it's from the top, right? But as you look at a glass of water, the surface tension is always curved.
Yeah, but that's
right?
the ends. That makes sense
So-
on the ends. You know, on a
Right.
flat,
But
it's
see-
always
but listen,
flat. It levels out.
That's because it's in its container.
Yeah,
All liquid is in
always
its container.
levels out.
If you don't have the container, what is a liquid in space? What shape is it?
I don't believe that though.
When you throw up water,
It falls back down.
what shape is it when it's in the air?
Droplets.
Ones
it
and
What
this
shape are
zeros.
those
Is it
droplets?
this shape?
Like that.
Just kidding.
Look at
Just
that.
kidding. You can get into it. Yeah, when you throw up water in
Basketball
the
shape?
air. Okay, go on.
Yeah, it's
So
droplets. Yeah,
It's all-
they're like round.
Right.
Yeah.
And I believe that nature shows us exactly how things work. It's kind of like all the math that's in the leaves and stuff that you can see. It's pretty observable, right? That everything's kind of fractal linear.
Do you believe we have
So
a barrier?
It's
That
Oh,
proves
yeah.
to me that it's just
I
Okay,
believe
cool.
that's yeah. And that is a surface tension. I'm just saying it acts as that. Whatever.
No, like a
that
solid
is.
barrier. Okay, excuse me, solid barrier.
I don't know.
Okay.
I've never been to the other space.
Yeah. Okay.
I
So
feel like
it's just you have to deal with what your observable world,
Yeah.
what we can observe, and extrapolate whatever our understanding is of whatever that is from that. And that's what I'm trying to
Yeah.
say.
So I have a question. Now, the idea of the vacuum, right? How is it possible in anyone's mind? Like, I'm not trying to make fun of anyone because I was a globe earther. Like, I was so NASA. I was so all of that, like hardcore. I used to think flat earthers were fucking crazy. I started about 12 years ago going down this rabbit hole, and not necessarily believing that the flat Earth model is the correct model. I'm not saying that, but I do believe that there's a solid barrier, and space is not what they're telling us. I'm with you on that. I feel like so my question to you is, the idea of the vacuum of space, you can actually create a vacuum chamber, like your own clear, vacuum chamber, decompress the air out of it and experiment with it. Light in a vacuum chamber, if you shoot a laser through a vacuum chamber, it doesn't penetrate through. It just like dissolves. So even the whole idea of having the sun shoot its light out in space, it's not supposed to work the way science tells us it works. Just by doing like little experiments at home with your own vacuum chamber, you can like debunk a lot of what NASA tells us with combustion. Another one, like fire even being a thing in a vacuum is like impossible. It's just like many things that make me scratch my head, like the whole idea of vacuum of space, like, and then we just have you like that, guys? You
Hi
like
there.
it
I hope I meet the vacuum of space.
I'm a pretty good vacuum of space. Let me shut up.
No.
Shut
Hello.
the hell up, Layla. Naughty girl.
That was not the Big Bang.
So I don't know,
The
man.
big slurp. We're all in the middle of the big
Okay.
slurp right now.
It makes sense, the whole idea that NASA pushes, but like logically with physics, it doesn't, because number one, in physics, gases can't exist without a solid barrier being present. So like a atmosphere, like no barrier, but like gases aren't like.
So you're talking more of an ether idea.
Yeah, like it's impossible for like
that's the
gases to
thing.
just exist there without in this realm, and it just doesn't make sense, because we wouldn't be able to exist without that barrier. Gases wouldn't be a thing without that solid barrier. And they try to create an idea of different levels of atmosphere, because we're spinning how many miles per hour, and then spinning through how many miles per hour around the sun, and then how many miles per hour in the galaxy, and we're not feeling a fucking goddamn thing. It's a great story, but do I believe it? I don't know. I can't. And my body rejects that idea now. It's crazy.
The idea of space.
Yeah.
It's all ones and zeros to me, and I will quote the Matrix on that every time, but I look at all of it, and that's what I see. Ones
Maybe
and zeros.
simulation. Maybe if you could just get out of there, it's all like digital, like computer shit.
That's the fractal linear nature of it all, too. It's all ones and zeros, bytes
all
and
like
bits.
digital computers all around.
If
You're in the
space
Matrix.
was real, like we're in the philosophy of that space is real, these pictures
I love those. I still love those.
like
I had calendars
this
of those
shit
as a kid.
blow, like this right
Non-authentic.
here
I,
is one of these dots over here,
yeah. And you can see those with those telescopes.
and all
Look at it.
of these are different
Not like
size
that.
of those. It's mind-blowing. And then in some of the things, this is the other shit that I'm like, what? This is just random stuff happening out there. What is this?
It's, that's really funny.
In the vacuum of space,
You ever
that
see those-
happens. Apparently.
You ever see those like Facebook or Instagram artists that take kids' drawings and they put them through
Yeah.
sort
Boys
of
with them.
art filter, and it just makes them all like a real monster or something like that? Like it looks like a kid's drawing that somebody like used as an outline and then airbrushed around.
This I've seen with my eyeballs. This I've seen in a
It's real.
telescope
I mean,
in my
those,
backyard.
whatever we're seeing up there is those images. I mean,
Not all
that
of
is
them,
a
but
thing.
yeah, not all of them. Most
So,
of them are
Like
CGI.
Saturn I've seen, Jupiter I've seen.
there's a character named Robert Simon, and you can go on the NASA website and you can see his entire page, and he describes on his page how his Earth photos that he creates, because he's the artist of what you see as the blue marble, they're composites, and he creates those images of the blue marble, and they're not authentic. It's not a real photograph. They're all art. And he says it with his own mouth. If you just search Robert Simon, there's interviews of him speaking on this as well. Like a NASA artist, he claims to be.
So what do you think about the hexagram or hexagon or whatever on top of Saturn?
I don't know.
I think it's cool.
I can't see it with an actual telescope, but it looks pretty cool. The pictures that they provide for us.
It looked totally fake. Like the first photos that they put out were like absurd. They look better now.
Yeah.
But I was like, what the fuck? Like, we're supposed to buy this?
My
They look
favorite-
okay now. What you see on the internet now looks okay.
My favorite was the I guess the backside of the moon image where they showed that this is what it looks like, and they claimed for it to be real, but it was completely artistically done, all CGI. Did you guys remember that?
Oh, the
No,
black.
I haven't seen the
The,
dark
No,
side.
I don't think
the
I've
dark
seen
side
that.
of the moon. Yeah, NASA apparently published that and said, yeah, this is the backside of the moon, and it was completely like even the dimensions of where Earth is supposed to be in it was just off, like completely off.
So, do you believe like NASA's lying? Is Elon and Tesla and the red car and all that bullshit?
I think they know what's really going on and they're testing something. I don't know what they're testing, but I feel like that's what they're doing. Either it's for Project Bluebeam or they're actually trying to penetrate it, or they could. Like that commercial of the guys in the ball where they're like going up into the I guess hot air balloon, and they're just like floating up, and then finally they start falling into space and finally go through, and it's water.
Like splash
Yeah.
down.
Yeah, what commercial was that? Mountain Dew or I forgot.
Do you know?
For it to be Mountain Dew, that would be.
Have you
No,
guys
I
ever seen
forgot.
the?
Car or something. I forgot, guys. What happened, McCurdy?
Have you guys ever seen the images of the moons of Jupiter? Like Io.
Some like
Io
that,
is supposed to
yeah.
have
Pandora.
actual volcanic. There's actually pictures of the first witness of a volcanic activity in space was this moon of Io, and they also have this moon Europa that is like a frozen planet, and supposedly underneath it, the frozen crust is a liquid underneath that is supposed to have all this life and stuff. So that's where like sci-fi goes.
You know, it's so funny. They don't even know what's in our core, and they assume to know what's in our core, and they claim to know what's in the core or the mantle or whatever and other freaking moons and
They don't even know what's in the depths of the ocean.
like, come on.
Yeah.
Come on. If they completely went and discovered everything that there is in the ocean, then I'll probably start believing what they have to say about space. Like, you can't even conquer the oceans that we have here. Only like 7% of the oceans are still yet to be discovered. of
We don't know
what's in
shit
it.
about our own volcanoes. and
Yeah,
how
we don't
they
know
work.
shit about shit. And
Don't know shit from Shinola.
they don't even know that we have
Chinola.
gold in our shit. The
They
golden
sure
shit
don't
club.
know that we have
Golden
gold.
shit club.
They sure don't know we have gold in our shit. They do know we have gold in our shit. That's why they're taking all of our shit away from our house and siphoning through it for their
Fucking A.
all of their precious metals. I do think if the space philosophy, the moons of Jupiter are interesting because there's the idea that Jupiter was the failed star, that it is the black sun. And so it produces a certain amount of energy out of it that underneath it doesn't have light energy like our sun has, this penetrating light energy. It has like a gaseous energy. And so there's life under the ice on Europa. That's what Gordy's talking about, which is if you believe in a space philosophy, it's curious. I mean, I don't know how the fuck they'd figure that out. Did they send a satellite with a drill? Did Bruce Willis go there? But I
The
mean,
Hubble.
Listen, they're fun stories. It's cool if you want to believe them. Nothing against y'all. Nothing
And
at
beautiful
all.
images. Like they
Yeah.
really are kind of soothing.
You
It's
know,
like watching a saltwater fish tank.
but the whole bigger picture of it all, I feel like it's like they try to take away from you, from who you are, and to look out there. Oh my God, there's other beings out there. We're nothing. We're this tiny. No, we're fucking something. And we're something precious, unlike any other creature that exists on this realm. Know what you are. We don't need to look out there. We need to look in here. The space is in here. It
you
is.
go to inner space.
Inner space, baby. I have the whole galaxy inside of me. I'm made of stars. So are you guys.
How are we made of stars if space isn't real?
Stars are real.
I mean, are they?
Stars are just
We live in a simulation. Don't make me question my reality again.
If it's a simulation, then it's all real. It's all real.
man.
just
All
ones
can
and
be real
zeros.
in a sim.
It's both things at the same time.
Yeah,
I asked
absolutely.
this question the other day. I'm like, guys, what if we created a simulation and this is it? Because the reality that we're actually in is fucking horrible, and for our own mental sakes, we created this simulation so we can actually have a great time, and we don't even know how to do that here. So
Like the Matrix.
Like the
Yeah.
Matrix.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, you just say the Matrix.
It's the Matrix.
well, yeah, but
So that we created it instead of the machines.
But instead of like that whole idea of all that like weird, ugly machine things, I feel like maybe it's just different. Like the life that we're actually living is not necessarily how the Matrix is portraying it, but as
Kinda like
like all
Ready Player One-ish.
computers, no nature, it's just like weird, like I don't know, like a weird realm that we can't even fathom, probably.
Like
And we
working
decide
organic
if we
beings
want
who
to
don't have
plug
an
in,
organic body.
plug out, plug out, whenever, you know.
What about if we're on our way to Mars
Uh-huh.
in some sort of hypersleep and they have to like we were born and we're kind of growing inside this gelatin capsule on our way to another planet, but they have to implant us with all of human history and strife and all this bullshit because we were just test tube babies and we don't have any real parents or any real life, but we're going to have to recreate society on this
Yeah.
other planet.
Isn't
So
that what
we're
we're
all just
doing?
getting implanted with what
Download.
an Earth seems like.
What if it's another metaverse? Like, what if we live in an exact replica of what we live in today in another world, but we're doing what metaverse is saying, like how they want to like upload your consciousness on a computer. What if
You
it's
could be in a
that's what
zoo.
we keep doing? It's like we keep
We are the AI. See, I go
Yeah.
through this sometimes because we are bioelectric. Your body is electric. It runs on electricity. That's why you have to drink electrolytes. That's why like limiting salt is actually bad for you because you have fascia, which is your
Oh,
electric
totally.
system in your body. Like
Yep.
you are completely a robot. Like
Chaney,
whether you want to believe it or not, you run on electricity 100,000%, like completely.
Chaney
All
asked that
water.
question the other day. She was like, if we're electric, how come we're not like floating and shit? You know, like connecting with the electricity and just fucking floating. How'd you ask it? What did you say, Chaney?
It seems like whether you believe in science, seance, or something in between, you believe the ionosphere is real. And for some people, they can see it. I'm one of those people. I can see the electricity move in the air. It's not floaters in my eyes. I know what those are. I know what the different spots are, but there's like little electrical worms I can see sometimes when the sun is just right,
Yeah.
and I can see them everywhere. And so my philosophy is like, in our human way, because we've seen birds fly and wind or glide, that everything needs wings, so that's how we draw it. But if it was a dragon or an electrical being, why wouldn't it just float through the ionosphere grabbing the electricity? So people that think in a Tatarian way or a Tesla way, it's because there's free energy existent in the air all the time around us. So if you were a magical being, you would just exist by riding on that energy. There doesn't need to be hovercrafts, there doesn't need to be magnets, there doesn't need to be alien spaceships. The energy is all around us all the time. And so why can't we just attach to that and be in it?
I always wonder
That's
that.
where I feel like the
Even with
electric
water.
grid. That's where I feel like the electric grid comes in, and especially because like I'm sure they're doing this all over the place. The people that were not out of work in 2020 were the fucking power, like the linemen. They were coming through and fucking upgrading all the fucking
Oh yeah.
The
power
brown
lines.
shirts.
Yeah, that happened a lot around here.
Yeah, it was
Mhm.
all over the place,
All
everywhere.
over.
Those were the people who were fucking working the whole damn time. Everybody
Yeah.
else was sitting at home in their houses while all these fucking new power lines went up. Like in my town, they put up the gigantic pylons, with the that are like metal and freaking you can't knock them
Oh,
over.
yeah.
And I feel like that grid has something to do with suppressing your electricity.
They built a suspiciously large power station over on DM base, a new one. I'm sure to kind of put the base on a separate grid from the rest of the city, just in case.
I think it's consciousness suppression because I do feel like we're like upgrading. I think everyone, not just certain people.
Yeah.
Like it's not like a rapture where a select few are fucking gonna be chosen. Everyone's
Well,
chosen.
Whoever's choosing to.
Well,
Not
Yeah,
everyone.
okay. Well, the people who didn't take the consciousess
Not everyone. Yeah.
suppressing agencies stuff. Yeah,
But a lot of us.
a lot of
Yeah.
us.
And you know what else fucked us
We chose not
also?
to screw our DNA.
Look at, I just said that in such a trite, like egoic, like, but a
Well.
lot of us.
You know what also
is what
kind
it
of fucked us too, though? Like them psyoping us into the whole lead paint fucking spiel. Like if we had
Fuck
this
yes.
lead paint on our wall still, they wouldn't be
Amen, sister.
projecting us with this fucking radiation, mind manipulation
You'd be
frequencies.
upgrading your DNA and connecting to the fucking
Quicker.
true electricity, not the
Way
fucking
quicker.
shitty ass grid that they're trying to get us all on.
Yeah. And now that's
You
actually
can get that back.
it's
for
hard
sure.
to
It's
It's
harder,
hard.
but
It's hard.
You can do that.
You
Yeah.
could do it, baby. Ground out.
I want to
Ground
see if I
out,
can get
man.
a dentist chair cloak and just like wear a suit of armor
Lead
of like
vest.
a lead vest. Yeah. Just fucking wear a lead vest on my head and wrap up.
Just go get some tinfoil. Would be good.
Hey,
We're
Spiro
straight.
makes those.
Yeah,
Some chain mail.
I swear.
Oh shit.
You could get some
Forgot
chain
I-
mail. Like you could probably just order chain mail at a dive site, like a
Mm,
dive
Oh, that's a
suit
good
for
idea,
sharks.
actually.
You could
Yeah.
just order chain mail,
That'd be
or
cool.
you could just have a welding friend, maybe make you a suit of armor.
Chaney.
I know some welders. Speaking of, this is so rando because I was going through and it's so silly, but I was like, okay, make me Kevin Spacey in a spacesuit, and I was just messing with AI apps and stuff to
Oh,
do
yes.
like stuff for like the show today, and I was like, oh cool, look at, I'll put a secret society of good guys thing inside a space helmet.
Love
This
it.
is fantastic. So then then I was like, do God pill angel Kevin Spacey.
Oh my god, do it. Let me see.
Look at what it did, though. It didn't do your face. But
Damn
look
it.
What it did. Look what it did.
Oh wow. Okay.
He looks like an angel, man.
I
I'm
mean,
enjoying.
kind of creepy, but whoa.
I mean, those are some
So
weird nipples, though. I
creepy.
mean,
It
who has
is
zero
so
hair?
creepy.
Kind of like it.
That's so antichrist right there. That's how I imagine.
Really, I don't feel like that.
Yeah,
I feel
not
like
hair.
that's like a fucking power because angels are
that
supposed to be
wax thing?
scary.
the
Oh, yeah.
antichrist. That's
Angels
the
are scary.
definition right there.
And
Or maybe
I
not.
because I
True.
was going through and doing all the Kevin Spacey and spacesuits and stuff, and I was like, "Oh, it'll only be fair." So then I also was like, "Well, what would Kevin Spacey look like if he was on flat Earth?"
It refused to do flat.
That's how it was. It was like flat. It's here, but then it had to like do another. To see how it's like
Yeah.
extra terrain. It's
Mhm.
letting us know outside of the ice wall,
There's
there is in
more.
fact more where that comes from. That is where I spent too much time of my day today on my day
Kevin
off playing with
Kevin
Kevin Spacey.
Spacey. I honestly, I was shocked to see him with Tucker Carlson, and I'm like, is that even real? Was that AI? Was that AI or was that real? Was that a real fucking interview?
I have yet to watch any of the Tucker Carlson interviews. There's something about the like X mixed with this like new platform and like it being this like big huge push of these check marks on it. I almost feel like the check marks on X remind me of OnlyFans, where it's just like, hey, do you know your neighbor is making $1 million showing her feet? But really it's just like the AI is desperate to get more and more data. So like Tucker Carlson gets kicked off Fox, but we know all the news stations are the same news stations, and Joe Rogan's still pushing the same thing that Howard Stern's pushing, even though they're off terrestrial radio. So I just think all of a sudden these Tucker Carlson interviews, every single one of them to me looks split screen. Every one. I don't know if you looked up the one with Donald Trump. I didn't even watch the interview. I just saw stills. But Donald Trump's a big, huge dude. And I mean, not that Tucker Carlson's not a big guy, but it looks like Tucker Carlson's huge compared to Donald Trump. So then the Kevin Spacey thing being on there, I'm just like, this feels too like we're watching a movie.
Yeah, I concur. Everything just feels weird now with all of
Agreed.
it.
I was gonna say it all feels like a movie.
Yeah.
So you were talking about Kevin Spacey being such a great actor, and I remember being so flipped in the first time I saw Usual Suspects. Like I had to watch it again. Like, oh my god, that guy's crazy good. And I can't remember what else it was, but he always creeped me out. He was like one of those actors that has the what do you call it? Ugly hot or whatever. What was it?
Sexy ugly.
Sexy ugly. Yeah,
He's not sexy
it's
ugly.
like
No, he's not.
no.
I always have to tell people the
But-
best example of sexy ugly. I'm sorry out there if this hurts your heart, anyone, and I know, take it for what it is. This is from a lesbian. So there's 2 examples actually of sexy ugly, but the number one best example of sexy ugly is Billy Bob Thornton. There's just something about him.
Yeah.
Agreed for sure.
See? He's
Something weird
gross,
about him.
and then there's something
But he's
about him that
totally
seems like
hot,
he'd
too. Yeah.
totally get you off. Like
yeah,
he
like
would just
rugged.
yeah, like he might spit on your vagina and you'd just be like, okay.
Like, damn, that
Here,
was hot.
Billy Bob Thornton, you can have a vial of my blood.
Anytime, honey.
So
I see
he's
what
sexy
Angelina was
ugly.
thinking. I get
The
it.
other example is Prince. He's not attractive, but there's something. He's not ugly, but there's something sexy about him.
Something.
The androgynous thing is hot. I don't know why, but I've decided that I do like
Sometimes.
androgynous men. I don't know. Like
Sometimes.
sometimes, yeah, but I mean, a guy who can pull it off well is like, there's something sexy about that.
Yeah. Yes. Like Prince.
Mhm.
Yeah, Billy. So,
He's the only one that could pull off
Really,
that.
yeah. I'm
Oh no,
sorry.
I follow this guy on Instagram and he is beautiful and he's pretty androgynous and I'm like, oh my god, like
Yeah.
I don't know what to think about him, but except I think that he's just a beautiful, beautiful man. He's got the Prince vibe.
I know it's so. it's so rare that you can be a dude in high heels, like, and really
know.
pull it off. It's such
And,
a rare.
and hoop earrings.
Very rare.
Yeah.
Like the meme, you know,
Hair and
the only
skin
guy that could wear high heels and hoop earrings and still steal your girl.
What were you saying about sexy ugly before we got off track?
Oh,
Yeah.
I don't know. It was just one of those things where it's like Grace
Oh,
Jones,
Kevin Spacey.
like there's something that you can't look away from, and it is hot, but it's like scary.
Do you think you could do a Kevin Spacey impression?
Could I do a Kevin Spacey?
How do
I
you
don't
do
know. I
a
haven't
Kevin
thought about it.
Spacey impression?
I'll have to listen
I
to it a
feel
little
like
more.
Kevin Spacey
I
talks
feel like
slow
Kevin
and kind of a
Spacey.
little bit
He's
southern.
very. He
Southern.
At least
tries to
Very.
say southern,
Very southern.
and he tries to sound like almost a foghorn leghorn type.
Yeah.
Almost. It's so much of a character now that he is really laying in. Is he not?
I knew you could do it. It's like if you're a
God.
person that can mimic, it's just like you just have to hear your own voice find
Yeah.
the thing.
No,
And
right.
the other
You gotta
part
get the
about
mood.
Kevin Spacey, so an interesting part, and I'm glad you did that voice of Frank Underwood, Mr. Frank Underwood, because Frank Underwood is the president in House of Cards. And a lot of people would say Frank Underwood is playing the part of Mr. Bill Clinton. And Jenny, or what's this girl's name? Robin Wright Penn,
Mm.
which I think this is a funny name that the simulation gives us, Wright Penn. Like it's like Spears and Pierce. It's like you're getting the same kind of like Robin Wright Penn. So Sean Penn, he helps capture El Chapo because we're watching a movie. And remind you, El Chapo, what's he famous for? Digging tunnels under the ground. So you got Mr. Frank Underwood playing the president, and in the House of Cards, he loses his presidency to his wife. And then he comes out with Christmas Eve videos, Christmas Day videos, 3 years in a row. The first one, he's holding a royal cup and he's warning the royals, like, I got your shit right here. And the next one, he's in front of a fireplace. And then the third one, he's sitting on a park bench. He disappears for a few years. Now, Ghislaine Maxwell, she cannot be tried on any of the crimes that Jeffrey Epstein was tried on. Like there's some kind of weird loophole in the crime that she couldn't be tried on that shit.
What?
And yeah, there's some weird thing. So it's like everything, in my opinion, if great movies needed great actors, everything, in my opinion, Kevin Spacey is the perfect witness. He's been with the royals. He was friends with the prince. He was friends with Bill Clinton. He's been to Epstein Island. He's in Hollywood. Like, I think he lines up for being like the best patsy to not just drop a president or two, but a king or a prince as well. So
Didn't
it's just weird that he's some random dude, some random actor from a movie playing House of Cards, and now he's still on Tucker Carlson playing the fucking actor. He's not playing Kevin Spacey. He's still Frank Underwood on
Exactly.
Tucker Carlson.
That's
And this
fucking
is the part
crazy.
that good movies need great actors. Kevin Spacey pointed out to me today by fucking Philip, because Philip just, he's fucking brilliant. And
Yeah, he
this
is.
is pointed out. And now think about this. Every fucking show, from House of Cards to Usual Suspects to American Beauty to all this, Frank Underwood is always giving us the narration.
Mm-hmm.
K-Pax.
So it's just so curious that he, you know how all of these actor or presidents now, like it's like Kamala Harris or Joe Biden, but then the real Donald Trump. It
So
makes me feel like all these people are actors, like Britney. If you open her book, like Britney is Britney, but then Britney Spears in all caps is the corporation as Britney.
and we've seen Britney in pictures with Andrew, with who else in the background?
Ray Chandler.
Yes. Interesting.
So I just think that Kevin Spacey is a whole fucking rabbit hole, and he's just he's too many places. He's the only one that links the Royals, DC, and Hollywood.
So do you think he's into that pedophile shit that they're claiming? Because there's reports on how he said that he's gonna like, you know, pack his shit and leave the United States if that's the case. If they release names or yada yada. Is he a part of it or is he
He's the
not?
worst of the worst, right?
That's what they said. The rumor was he was
I
the
know
worst
the
of the
rumor is
worst.
they said he
They-
was the worst of the worst.
So it's
That is
like,
Well, we
like
said. I mean, the
and Bill
conspiracy
Clinton
theorist is the one
says he
that.
was the worst of the worst. We won't even party with him on the island because he just slaughters the kids too harsh for us.
yeah.
That doesn't
Or
even make any sense.
grapes
He
them too
frazzles
hard.
too
And-
hard.
Yeah.
Why would they be saying shit? That's the thing. Like, why
Yeah.
would we know a damn thing about how he is on the island?
We're not trying to defend him either, but what if this guy, because he says in the video, I told you, you knew you shouldn't trust me, but you trusted me anyway. So it was like a huge message to them. It's like, why would you even say that publicly? So what are you really? You just said that he knew not to trust me, but he did anyway. So is he like a spy? Is he there to just?
I have a
you know?
question, legit.
Yeah,
Can I play Instagram videos on here without getting pulled off?
I think so.
Depends.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I always had my Kevin Spacey videos that I made for my old TikTok that got pulled down forever ago. And when I put them up, they pulled me down for copyright on TikTok, those videos. So I was like, oh, I should just be able to go if I do a video on Insta, we should be able to watch it on here. So then I was thinking we could pull up Kevin Spacey's videos and watch them. They're not long.
They're not long.
Okay.
They're not
But
long.
I just don't get pulled. Otherwise, I would have had it set up. But you guys can keep talking about whatever else while I like look for this.
I wish we could put them up with the captions at least, and like just read the captions just in case the voice. Like, I don't know.
He talked. Don't you worry. He talks
Don't
so
you worry.
clear.
You're right. You're
Did Brittany just post? Did I just pull this
Don't
up
you
right now and
worry.
Brittany just posted? I can't. Brittany, I can't right now. I'm trying to concentrate.
First person lie.
right. Guys, Brittany is a serious rabbit hole. Like, you guys don't even fucking know. Like, you don't know.
We think about Brittany like y'all think about the Roman Empire.
Yeah, that's our Roman Empire. Like, for
It
real.
is.
The subliminal messages, I don't even know if that's her. I know it's way off topic, but like, it's not. It's not. It's part of the whole Spacey clan clique web. The Chandler.
It's part of the
Okay.
secret society of good guys. So if you
Mhm.
don't want to hear about Brittany, then you're in the wrong place because we're going to
Too
talk about her
bad.
probably every
Yeah.
episode,
Whatever.
Brittany,
Get outta here, Brittany
whether it's
haters.
on topic or
You're
not.
all-
It's
just
it's part of
warning
it.
everybody right up.
Well, this is just what we're doing
Okay,
because
here we
this
go.
just happened 28 minutes ago.
The fuck.
Weird.
So this is
Okay,
cyberspace
Brittany.
again. So yeah, that's what Brittany's doing. And then this is Brittany 21 minutes ago.
What does the post say? I can't see. I'm
This one
blind.
says, "This was the morning sunrise 2 nights ago from my bedroom.
Morning
the
2
sun
nights
looks like
ago.
fire. And when I was little, I always used to say that God is an artist. Did he just paint the sky or did science do that? God?
Is in
Ah.
space with us. Look at that.
Oh,
Did
this is
Brittany just say something
perfect.
about
Hey,
chemtrails?
Brittany, you're
They're
here.
painting the sky. That's meaning like, what are the
She's talking about
scientists
space.
showing you? Are they painting a picture for you, or
And then
is
Brittany comes on. She says, same baby blue dress I wore in Mexico, March 31 of this year. I really feel like I'm just saying this out of the blue. I feel like Selena died on March 31. I'm just saying. I don't know why. If it's not Selena, it's Princess Diana. But anyways, I decided to bring it back because it was my favorite. I wore it before I got on the plane to Vegas 2 nights ago, but it was not in my suitcase anymore, nor is my new black jacket I bought last night. Don't you hate when your favorite belongings go missing and people's response is you got robbed with a big smile on their face? That's not very nice. What is she talking about? Okay, I'm sorry. I got
Well,
trapped
why
in
did she
Brittany.
say
I
like
knew it
the
was going to
morning?
happen.
On the other one, she said something about the morning, the sunrise at night, too. I don't know if y'all caught that.
That
You're
was
right,
the
it
morning
was-
sunrise 2
was
nights ago
Selena.
from my bedroom.
2 nights
Morning.
ago. Morning, sunrise, 2 nights ago from my bedroom.
Your brain's amazing, Chaney. Selena did die on March 31st.
Dang.
Okay,
did
we
Jake.
are
And
going
it's
to.
crazy because freaking Cardi B went up on stage as Selena, kind of like in a
And
mock,
Brandon Lee.
some weird
Oh, we
mock.
were just talking about Brandon Lee.
Yeah, because I was
And you know
What?
what's funny also? This Albanian singer named
Jake's
Dafina
nice.
Zacchidi 2 days ago came out with a video wearing a purple, like fucking glistening bell-bottom suit. What are they doing? What are they doing? They know shit. I wish I knew what these people fucking knew, man.
the code.
Before I play Kevin Spacey, hello. I don't know if we're being visited by the voice of God.
Let's see. Hello, hello. God
God,
is
are
a
you there?
woman.
Already out there.
Isn't God a woman?
Which one?
God is a woman.
Is that a beautiful song you just made up just now?
I think it was Ariana Grande.
Oh, see, I'm so out of the loop. Okay, back to the House of Cards.
Kevin Spacey.
Back to the Kevin Spacey
Back
of it
to
all.
the Kevin Spacey of it all.
Back to the Kevin Spacey of it all.
Hello.
Let me make sure.
Me you're looking for. I can see it in your eyes.
Okay, here it is. Can you hear it? I can hear it.
Yeah, yeah.
I know what you want.
That's it.
Well,
I know what you want.
no, I think it's totally longer than that.
Yeah. I know. I've seen this one. Last year's, right?
I know what you want.
Why is it just doing
no.
that? That's bullshit right now.
I know what you want.
Just keep saying it and repeat. Okay,
I know
let's.
what you want.
What you want.
I want a blunt.
You didn't really think I was going to miss the opportunity to wish you a Merry Christmas, did you? It's been a pretty good year, and I'm grateful to have my health back. And in light of that, I've made some changes in my life, and I'd like to invite you to join me. As we walk into 2020, I want to cast my vote for more good in this world. Ah, yes, I know what you're thinking. Can he be serious? I'm dead serious. And it's not that hard, trust me. The next time someone does something you don't like, you can go on the attack, but you can also hold your fire and do the unexpected.
You can kill him with kindness.
Kill them with kindness.
God, it's so weird. I love the
Kill
music.
them with kindness.
I can't believe Let's Be Frank didn't play. It
great.
makes me irritated.
Yeah.
Try it one more time.
I don't know if it's great or terrible.
I know what you want.
You bitch!
Didn't I post it on my page
Go
or no?
back, maybe.
The one with the mug?
You bitch! I don't know.
I think the one with the mug I posted on my page.
I have it in other things too, but I'm like,
It's on. People can watch it.
look up
It's-
Kevin Spacey. He so creeps.
But yeah, you're right. He has the cadence. I haven't heard him talk normally in years. I don't know. Now that I'm thinking about it, I don't know what his normal voice would sound like. Probably sounds like Abraham Lincoln.
Well, that leads me to think that the Tucker Carlson thing is absolutely fake because he's in character. So, not. I mean, that should just be like a
He's
A
so
plus B equals C
character.
thing. Yeah.
He gives me rapey vibes. I don't know. He always did, just like the other guy. The other
Maybe he
Kevin.
knows it. Maybe he's leaning into it because he knows he gives people that creepy ass vibe
Yeah.
and leans into it. That's why his acting works.
May I
Well,
ask a
isn't it
question?
kind of? Oh, hi.
Hello.
Hi. So wait, are you all debating whether or not there's validity to the rumors about him?
Yeah, that, and wondering if maybe is he like part of like the good guys trying to like capture information from these people? I don't know. I'm just
I
playing with
guess
the idea.
he falls on the same spectrum of John Travolta and like all the rumors about him assaulting like male masseuses. You know, like Kevin Spacey's got the same type of rumor mill going on. He just fucking kills everyone that says anything about it.
Because he does have a huge kill list. But then I asked the question, do they kill these people off on behalf of trying to make him look like a Bill Clinton or a Hillary Clinton?
I mean, think about his character in House of Cards. If that's revelation of the method, like how easy it is to, like, after watching Homeland and House of Cards and things like that, like any global incident could literally just be like somebody's wife that was like fucking around, you know what I mean? And like cause, like, you know what I mean? It's so interesting to watch them cover stuff up. But I don't believe they're any good guys, so.
Yeah,
No,
man.
you're-
Fuck.
What?
You're right. So
You're right. Nothing
like,
exists.
what? You?
You know where you are.
Exist, but I think, okay, like let's just talk about a green person who like goes, like I used to believe in politics. I worked at the state legislature in my state for a time, and I was so idealistic and like thought like, okay, I'm gonna see pork made, you know what I mean? But like it's gonna be real and we're gonna listen to the people. Well, obviously none of that's real. So I think there are some base actors that have always been base actors, but I think most of it is people that are idealists that become compromised. You know what I mean? So like there is no true white hat in my opinion.
Yeah.
At any of those higher levels.
Yeah, so you think that everyone probably has like some sort of blackmail material if we see him on the silver screen? Because I kind of lean towards that. They
If you
had
get
to go through
famous,
that
your
ritual.
character's owned.
Where are the good guys? Like, what have they done for us? How do they
That's
reveal
true.
themselves to us?
That's very true.
I'm here,
How do
and
they
I believe
reveal
in synchronicity. I believe in signs. How, if I was a white, I reveal myself to you now as some upper echelon of the elites?
Well, I think about it like for
They have a
myself, like
badge.
let's say if I really wanted to do something and I know I was great in acting and I'd be like, you know what, I'm going to go undercover and I'm going to try and get so much information and create my own documentary. And we have situations like this that have already happened in the past where they try to create a documentary and right before it's about to come out, they're gone. You know, so I don't know. I want to believe that there's good people in the circle. I don't know.
How deep can you get?
Yeah.
Like you always, even like an undercover cop, you know, they always are like, well, you got to do a little heroin otherwise you're going to get outed. Like how
Right.
deep do you get to go as an undercover cop? Like if you're in the mob, you're Donnie Brasco, you might have to kill a couple people.
Mhm.
Like how deep do you get to go that you get away with your crimes because you're doing it for the greater good? And then who's great?
Yeah. Let's be honest.
It's that loophole, right?
The character of Spacey in the simulation is he Spacey?
I can't hear you.
You can't
Your
hear
audio's weird.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Your audio sucks.
Oh, is she always telling you guys how your audio sucks compared to
You already know.
This is a shared thing.
I haven't watched
So-
The House of
I
Cards.
guess
Have you guys
my
seen
question
it?
would be,
Huh.
I've been really, but like, if there is a battle between good and evil, why don't we see it?
Mm-hmm.
Why isn't it out loud? Like, why isn't it up in front of our faces in the same way that there's a left versus right?
I know.
I'm gonna be a little.
Do you feel
This is
like-
my pessimist tonight. As
I
Do you
agree,
feel like
though.
real good has to be done in like secret,
I mean, I think
or else
obviously
it doesn't? It gets compromised.
to say about this since some of you picks, but I mean that in a nice way. But I think that But like what's going on with the states right now is really interesting. You know, like wasn't it Colorado that took him off the ballot and now he's back on the ballot? And then what's the other state that's doing it? Some with an M maybe.
Maine.
And yeah, maybe Maine. So there's like it's very similar to habeas corpus. So basically, like Trump made this motion to the Supreme Court asking to expedite the process and go straight to them to answer this federal question. Whereas like normally the Supreme Court wants to see different circuits make their findings on it, and then they want to see how the appeals court goes, and then they make their finding based on all of that. And so instead of nipping this in the bud, the Supreme Court punted on it and was like, nah, you're going to have to go through the normal course of business of like district court rule, going to the appeals court, and then coming up. And so I wonder, in the hallmark of like abortion, that the Supreme Court finally defines issue. Are they going to name now no real protection, like not make this a question whatsoever? And all of us who are like kind of a little like you can't then, it's I say not as I do type thing now. Have you guys lost me? I'm sorry. I'm going through a bad zone. I just wondered if that's what they're about.
It did for a second.
It did for a minute.
Keep going. We're following.
I didn't know if it was because my sound's better now that all of a sudden your sound was. Go on if you're clear.
Anyways, you guys, sorry.
No.
You're back, I think.
Yeah, you're back.
Oh, maybe not.
Maybe not.
I love the way that Maria thinks about things like that, because when you really look deep, it's all part of the show. Whether we want to agree with that or not, but deep down, we all know truly that this is all a show for us, and they're going to have their power, and they just need to feed us something just so we can do whatever it is that we need to do that they want us to do. So it's either we want to play along or not. Pretty much, I think.
Play along with what?
I think that the bad is kind of like, if this is all theater, then you kind of need the bad. You don't need the good things, because you need the catalyst. So you need the things that push you to decide, push you to do one thing or the other. So if it's all fake, we don't really need the good guys. We need the bad guys.
Do you think that all the bad guys are being elevated and shown their shit right now, and that's why people are either choosing to upgrade themselves or not? Like, is everybody's shit being seen?
I'm just questioning everything. I question reality at this point. I'm just like,
illusions are being dropped.
But isn't part of the question though, like, isn't that could just be part of their humiliation ritual? Like, like we act as though their shame affects them in some sort of way, but their shame is just part of the character that's being played.
Yeah.
Like, it's neither a good thing nor a bad thing to them. It's just there's an arc, and in this part of the movie, they have to, like, this is the role they take.
Yeah, this is my job, and I'm executing.
Yeah. But they're all friends at the end of the day, right?
Don't you think shame is like an important part of our ritual to take? Like, you had to be shamed for however many years for being an anti-vaxxer, even though you knew it was right. And now the opposite side, if you're vaccinated, you're being completely shamed. So it's just like somewhere they always want all of us to like hang our head down that we're the inappropriate one.
Right. And it was, but everybody's being shamed because of it.
But isn't shame just like a perception game in your own mind too at the same time? Like, obviously there's overt shame, but I think most of the time we feel shame, and it's like our perception of how we think someone else is perceiving us, which is just really our perception of ourselves.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, we live a whole life acting like, I think I'm supposed to act this way, or this is what somebody thinks about me. Nobody fucking thinks about you 99% of the time.
Yeah.
Like, we're all so self-obsessed.
It's like we take everything personal.
Yeah, I have to tell people that about the gym all the time because like so many people won't go to the gym or they don't like women don't want to work out on the co-ed side because they're so worried that everybody's looking at them and judging them. And it's like, I assure you, they're all dumbasses and nobody knows what they're doing. So you're fine. Just go in there and do it. Do you. Nobody's thinking about you. They're worried that you're thinking that they're a dumbass. So you're fine.
She's right. It's like
so
that.
funny.
That's a metaphor for life, though. Nobody knows what they're
Well,
doing.
it's like pretty much
It's true.
everyone is.
Do we, any of us?
Agreed.
Pretty much everyone is a copycat of everybody. Everyone's a copycat version of something. Like we all got everything we know from somewhere. So it's like regurgitating information and acts and the way we are, the way we dress, everything. But
Yeah, I was
she's
thinking
right.
about that. Like Abby, you were mentioning that we are the AI. This is how AI does it. Like Thomas was showing me, you know, how the music is put together, you know, with the AI music. But that is songwriting. Like it's everything that we've heard before. Like all that shit's there. George Harrison says that he didn't realize that he was taking My Sweet Lord from the, what was it, the Supremes or whatever. But it was. I mean, but it was just because it was there. Like it's in your subconscious. I can see how these things can happen. Like I've written shit and I'm like, holy shit, I stole that from the
Do you
Twilight Zone
think
thing.
there is only a certain amount of things, and that is why it's so important? Like, let's say you take somebody like Michael Jackson, and he'd want to buy all the musings that he could, and then that's why a certain
yes.
AI would want the musings, because there's only a certain amount of combinations that human beings can make. So they would want to own the musings, and if once AI owns them and they're out of our hands, then every single thing that you were going to create is already out of the ether, but now it's in the Ethernet.
Yeah. You know, don't they talk about how there's for filmmaking there's only like 21 different possibilities of events that you could make, but in just different versions or different story.
I think there's 36 tropes.
36, right? Okay, there you go. That's the number. So I don't know.
Yeah, I think 36 tropes. Okay, so to piggyback on what you were saying, I think it's really interesting that you bring up the concept of like copyright. On my trip, I've just been doing a lot of like thinking, and I was just thinking of intellectual property and how fucking wild is it that we make frequency with music and then we think that like we own it. Basically, like you're saying, like the whole concept behind copyright is that like I put these three notes together and now they're mine forever.
Yeah.
It's just
It's all
it's so interesting.
Rico Kasich says that if you're not writing your song, rewriting one of your own songs, you're writing somebody else's song. And that's totally true. Like absolutely. It's all collages and shit that we've heard before, or because you know, you learn that shit from you get good at stuff by playing covers of stuff, and all that stuff kind of just, and the things you like, and it's like art, you know, you wouldn't know what a dog was supposed to look like. All those weird ancient etchings of rhinos as unicorns because they've never seen one, you know. So we like make like our closest guess at what this is, and this thing becomes a different thing. It's kind of like I don't know if you know who Bella Fleck and the Flecktones is, but they have like a banjo. It's jazz, and it was 90s jazz. It was weird. Anyway,
Everything you just said there blew my mind. Banjo, 90s jazz. My brain didn't even know what to do with it.
It gets weirder. The best bass player in the whole wide world, Victor Wooten. This crazy guy, Howard Levy, who would play piano and harmonica and sometimes two or three harmonicas at the same time, and bend notes like I've never, like he could bend notes like Stevie Wonder. Like if you've ever heard of, like Stevie Wonder has a very specific sound to his harmonica playing. This guy had a very like smooth, almost like a Paul Desmond kind of playing, but on harmonica. It's hard to explain. Anyway, the drummer was this, it wasn't really drums. It was a guy playing on an artificial drumitar thing that he made. And it's the craziest sound, and he came from a bluegrass band, Bella Fleck, the banjo player who got this group together. And it sounds like a train wreck. And in most ways, it probably should have been, but it becomes this beautiful thing that everybody tried to copy after that. It comes a specific style that nobody can ever do because those specific guys put all those weird things in that way, just became that one special thing. That's where it makes it special. But
Well, it's just like you could take how many guitar players and they all sound like, if they're one of the greats, their guitar sounds like their guitar.
yeah,
It's like
nobody
somebody's
plays like Jeff
voice,
Beck.
like,
You always know who Jeff Beck is when you hear him.
well, you brought up George Harrison earlier, and you know George Harrison's whiny guitar from any other guitar in the world, like any
Right.
other guitar that's playing. And
Mhm.
we were talking about Prince earlier. You know Prince playing a guitar, like
Mhm.
it's just like his fingers sound different on it. I don't know. I think it's
Talk about the
wild.
best performer in the world, though. Like him and maybe Freddie Mercury at the George Harrison, sweet, bringing it all around at the tribute for George Harrison with Danny Harrison. Have you guys ever seen this? Where they play my
Yeah,
guitar
my
gently
guitar
weeps,
yeah.
falling into the crowd. Fucking genius, man. Best performance ever.
If speaking of space,
Oh,
if
sorry, Maria, you're still
my
here?
Maria is still there,
Yes.
she's in wide open spaces. She took a trip by herself.
Is she
Yeah,
into
tell us her-
NASA or like? I want to know her theory on like what she believes
Yeah, what do you
in.
think of space?
Come on, Maria, let us know.
Tell us, God.
What is the question?
Yeah,
Here-
lay it on us,
Give us
Here,
a
Globy.
Maria.
Lay it on us, Globy.
God is a
You were introduced as
wonderful-
God.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Yes.
So yes, well I am. Thank you. I think the world is a Riemann sphere, RIEMANN sphere, which is both. So like the question is asked like, is the world a sphere? Is the world hollow? Is the world flat? Yes, all of those three things at the same time can occur. So like in the Riemann sphere, the variable never goes to zero. It's on an infinite plane. So like the sphere exists when the plane is wrapped up in one sort of dimensional field, and the flat exists on the two-dimensional field that we're in right now. And that thing, kind of like the thing that HV and I say a lot, is like we're rendering as we go, if you believe in simulation theory. And that kind of all plays into the idea of X never equaling zero, and that two-dimensional plane being infinite. So that's what I think that reality is.
Ah.
I think that space is probably an ocean, but I have so many questions. Like I can't reconcile all of my thoughts on everything.
Yeah, same.
You know, like I am obsessed with the stars. Like I literally came out on the trip I am right now to look at the stars, but like they never move. They're stationary. And like it's kind of interesting. Like it's kind of like time travel when you look at the stars, because you're looking at light that's like theoretically billions of years old that took there to look at you at that moment.
Yeah.
But like, is it also domed? I don't know. I
But then
guess if you're
Have you ever tripped on anything like, and actually like looked at
Have you
the
ever
sky
gone to
and seen the
psychedelic
grid?
space?
Yeah, and like seeing the grid, staring at the stars, and like seeing how everything
I
connects
think-
with the lines.
I think the chemtrails are to prevent us from seeing the grid.
I think so, too.
I love that theory.
I've been taking lots of pictures of chemtrails on my trip, because they're always like X marks the spot. But they're X marks the spot because they're doing them on like a grid themselves already, and I'm just seeing
Yeah.
the X at the juncture that I'm at, because of the place I am, I can't see the rest of it. But yeah, I think that's a spread. Like, the world is very much like Divergent to me, like the third movie of Divergent, when like they've been like watching us from afar. So like, are they watching us from like above or
Is
from
it that is that
inside?
the all-seeing eye that they keep referencing?
Right.
Yeah, why are they always in 90-degree crossings? Like
Oh, Chaney.
the
I'm sorry.
yes, no,
Yeah.
I want to hear what you have to say. Please.
Yes.
Yeah,
Are you wanting me to take this in like a Fool Society type?
Do
Any way
whatever
you
you
Can
want to
want.
I?
do.
Yeah, we're open to
Yeah.
all.
Okay, this is one of my wildest theories, I guess. Okay, let's pretend that some sort of alien exists. It's not a little green alien. I don't know if it's an interdimensional being, but it exists. I don't know what it looks like. It decides to come to Earth in the late 1800s, and it creates, like, the idea of the movie The Faculty, where these like worms landed on Earth and they crawled into everyone's brains and they took them over. It's this like host parasite argument. And so if we get into like a real discussion, that's a host parasite argument. And if you get really into like a carbon discussion of like downloading consciousness, that's the end of the day. So these aliens come to Earth in the late 1800s and they create the Fool Society. And the underpinnings of the Fool Society become the underpinnings of Nazism. And so it's rumored that there, like in the movie Minority Report, there are 3 beings that like lay in this water bath that have the ability to see the future. And so there were people, like those 3 beings in that movie are modeled after the Thule Society in the late 1800s. And so they get together with Hitler at some point and they become the tenets of Nazism. And so then to consider that aliens came to the Earth, they create Nazism, which then eventually becomes NASA. So like theoretically, aliens now, as real, as this like parasite host relationship, have created like the ultimate psyop for themselves and created NASA to explain their own existence, and then literally loosh us and take all the money in the fucking world and continue their existence into perpetuity.
Dude, worm. Oh my God.
And this is where in history, like worm also means dragon.
Yeah.
And then the chat's been bringing it up too to add into this like kind of rewrite of history. They've been bringing up the orphan trains a few times tonight. So then you have these orphans that end up everywhere all over the globe. They end up by train tracks. They have no history. They're working. You have a bunch of TV shows that come up during the time, like Little Rascals, that are showing you that all of these kids are orphans, that they can trade in kids if they want. They're getting rid of kids. They're showing you that these kids are getting adopted by elites. And this is what the whole show's about. And so Shirley Temple is one of these kids. Dorothy is one of these kids. So they have a whole big rewrite of none of these kids in all of the silver screen, that they all the first push of Hollywood, which is also all Nazis. So they all show the Americas, like all of these like orphans just showing up. Get a Cabbage Patch baby, get a doll, get a thing. And then so it's like kids taking care of kids. Because the Thule, if you also look at it like this black ooze, this AI that's begging to get in our hand again, it's like we almost recreate it, giving it more power each time.
Yeah, man. And to bring it to the point of the worms, and doctors even hide this from people, the infestation of humans and what cancers, not all cancers, but the majority of cancers are parasitic. They're laying egg sacs, and what they do is so intelligent that these worms, these beings, they'll grab onto an organ, they'll control the organ with whatever brain they have, they'll use that organ and wrap the organ around themselves. So whatever you try to do to kill these things, you need like some special Trojan horse method to trick these suckers. They're infestations, and I probably lean more towards what Maria's saying about that could be the worm theory. Like they're controlling us, and maybe that's what's the alien part of us.
But that could even go into like the NPC argument. Like people think if their
Yeah.
panties in a twist about the idea of the NPC is that you could just have a parasite inside of you. That's like, it's so interesting to me, the concept of kitty litter. They tell
Toxoplasmosis.
women that you have to stay away from kitty litter because the parasites that are in it have the ability to take control and like change your behavior as a human.
No, don't say that. No, my kitties.
Well, didn't they create some kind of super tick that like the larva breeds inside of a cat's intestine now too?
Yeah.
Yeah, and it makes you lose your impulse control or something. They say that whatever it is about the new parasite in it, like rats become sexually intrigued by cats. Like it does something the opposite. Like it forces you to go. Yeah, somebody
Toxoplasmosis.
Yeah, thank
Toxoplasmosis.
you.
Yeah.
It's hard to say.
Ta-da-da-ta.
You know what? I had to get that
But
one down.
toxoplasmosis isn't related to the tick issue, though. Have you heard
No,
about
that's
the
a
ticks?
different one.
It's a totally different
So the
thing.
ticks are actually
They're-
like, in their larval state, like they're inside of a cat's intestine and they're able to reproduce as a larva instead of as an adult tick. So they're inside of a cat's intestine and they're breeding inside of it. And so cats are actually shitting out ticks.
Do you think they just don't want us to have cats because they're so witchy?
They are witchy.
Here's
They're
a weird
chasing away
question.
demons. Yeah,
Is
I
the
agree with that.
Narcissists.
Is the pineal gland a worm? Like, isn't it like a worm, like with an eye? But like, is that the worm? Is that the vril that that they don't want to talk about?
No, I don't.
Is
I
that
don't
the
think so at
major?
all.
No.
I mean, I think that maybe the vril goes there, but I don't think I think all of us, that's something unique to us.
Yeah.
Like
I like
of
the
good.
idea of the Eye of Ra and the Eye of Horus, that being ancient representation of the vril crawling in the eye.
Oh, right. Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. That Donald Marshall says that these worms crawl into celebrities' eyes, and so every time we've always said that we think they're getting some sort of humiliation ritual where they're getting punched in the face. It's really because they have a new vril that's been inserted.
Interesting.
So someone in the chat brought up cloning. So Maria, we have to ask you a question.
Oh,
I
I love this
think I know
question.
this, but would I fuck myself?
Would you fuck yourself? And is it masturbation? Would you fuck your clone? And is it masturbation?
Is it masturbation or incest?
I would totally want to hit it from behind. And
That's my girl right there.
Is it masturbation
Yeah.
or incest? I don't think it's either.
It's an experience. That's how I see it.
I love that answer,
It'd be an
girl.
But I mean,
experience.
to think that like, if you copied and pasted me, would it literally be the same me? Like, it'd still be me, but she's gonna have different experiences and different. I mean, I guess that begs the question: like, is my brain like, am I the source, Joan? Okay.
Oh, are we talking about
So-
having a relationship with our clone now? Because I was just thinking, fucking. I mean,
No,
it was-
I'm
we're
just
not
saying, like-
talking like getting.
No. Like, if
I
I
already
was
told you I
cloned-
wouldn't fuck my
Hey,
clone, but I want to
hey.
build something with her.
Healthy boundaries there, pal.
if I was cloned, would the source me have any sort of connection to my cloned consciousness? what I'm
Like, can you
saying.
control it
Not even control.
or have
like,
the
kinda
same
almost.
experience?
It's like the same idea of like all of us living in different realities, right? Like the multiverse.
yeah.
And the concept of deja vu almost being the idea that like you're experiencing that moment in all of your different realities at the same time. So I'm just saying, like, in that kind of multiverse, like if I fucked myself here, would I feel it? I don't know. That's
Right? Would I break the timeline?
Yeah.
See, that's
I'd
what
be,
I.
like,
That's what I would.
fucking
do.
myself
Like, get the
and
fuck away
feeling
from
myself
me.
get fucked at the same time.
Hey, I did that in
That's
dreaming.
the
I found my dream
Ouroboros.
body with, or I found my physical body with my dream body, and I felt it in both places. It was pretty weird.
I think that's the new sexual position for 2024, but
From
have
behind?
you Ouroboros.
New meaning to that
Right.
word.
It's the dragon
What does
and the
that mean?
serpent.
When I fuck myself from behind and then I
It's so good.
Hell yeah.
Or would that be 69?
no
No.
no
No.
it would be the
Okay.
That's
Ouroboros
Pisces.
because yeah, that's Pisces. You feel like getting a little
Okay.
Pisces tonight? That's what we do in February. But the Ouroboros, I think, is actually
Cancer.
yeah, you're if
The
somebody
69
was
is
asking you what
Cancer.
you were
Yeah,
into.
cancer. Yeah, cancer. Excuse me.
69, yeah.
Yeah.
But two fish, isn't
I've
it?
done
Two
that.
fish swimming.
This is bang your teeth. I've done that too. Like,
No, it's
tong.
this thing.
Oh, two fish swimming are Pisces, but then the little
Yeah.
The
That's
logo
signs
is
that
actually
they have
69, yeah, the symbol.
for Cancer is 69, dude, the most
69.
overrated
69.
sexual position.
I don't know. I
Absolutely.
like it.
Ugh, I'm like, I don't want to mow the lawn and get a massage at the
hard.
same time.
Yeah, but like, you know, why
It
not?
requires a lot of
Switch
concentration.
it
I
up.
I'm trying
can't.
to concentrate on one
I
thing.
can't do both at the same time.
Yeah.
I'm like, how about just
I'll just do it for fun, you know?
It's good in
Like,
theory.
ooh, this is cool. Something different. Yay.
can I
That's
tell you another
comforting.
thing that's good in theory?
Hmm.
Sitting on someone's face.
Actually, it's good.
For you
No,
probably,
don't ever ask
but
me to do that.
for
I've done it.
you,
I like it.
I'm telling you as the person, like it's just like if you really want me to do the thing, once you start feeling the thing that you're like, oh my gosh, this is the thing, you might kill me.
I believe that.
Yeah, I probably would.
That
yeah.
makes sense.
Yeah.
It's like, oh my gosh, and you can't hear me scream, just like in space. What is
No,
that?
I never
Wasn't that
thought
Stanley
Cause of death?
Kubrick?
What
Like,
would be the cause of death?
you would just be
Asphyxiation?
like, yeah.
Asphyxiation.
Sexual
Hurting.
Chronic
asphyxiation.
asphyxiation.
She wanted it. I didn't hear a
Autoerotic
safe word.
asphyxiation.
This is the safe word to be like, Layla, what is this? I bet you hearing the safe word would sound just like, you'd be like, is that a vacuum of space? It would be like,
Oh my God. Yeah.
all the way off the rails.
What were we talking
Yeah,
about?
why
Oh, yeah,
not?
space.
Well,
That's
also,
in your space.
Maria
The
was in
vagina's a nice
your neck
space.
of the woods. She was in Sedona.
Oh, kind of, yeah. That's a,
I know. So beautiful and so gorgeous. So lucky you are.
did you go to any of the weird old portal spots and see if you felt anything?
I did, and I didn't feel a damn thing. And
Yeah,
I think
I
Sedona
agree.
is kitschy and overrated.
And the
And
hippies.
so I have a new theory on it. I
Yes.
matched with a guy on Tinder in Sedona. We went out, and like immediately I realized like this was not going to be a romantic connection at all. But he was kind of on our same wavelength, and so I was asking him about energy and where I should hike the next day. And we got to talking, and he said he's been there for 4 years and that he has observed an underground, he didn't use the word cabal, but he kind of insinuated like this underground cabal of like witches and wizards that run Sedona. And then
No
I
joke.
posted that on my story, and I got a ton of feedback
Hmm.
of some other people that had experienced it, of somebody that was telling me that they believe that like all the dead celebrities go to Sedona, and like there's some sort of like mountain entrance there. But really, really interesting rhetoric on Sedona. So then when I was talking to Chaney and I was telling her, you know, like I've heard about this place for years. It's been on my bucket list. Like I thought, hey, I'm this weird motherfucker that can literally conjure a blue light in front of me if I want to. Like, if anyone's going to feel something in Sedona, it's going to be me. And I felt absolutely nothing. not like an inkling of an inkling. So then I wondered if the witches and wizards theory was really true, how clever would it be to like tout the idea of like ley lines and vortexes and to bring all of these kind of unsuspecting people there that you could literally loosh the fuck out of, you know what I mean? And they think they're feeling a vortex when really their energy is being manipulated on like a massive level.
Do you think weather has anything
makes a
to
lot of
do with
sense.
it?
Yeah.
Like the solstice, the winter solstice versus the summer solstice, do you think maybe?
So I would think that I could feel even more then, you know, and if
Yeah.
Yeah.
Were you there at solstice?
You're right. You're right.
I
You
was
said
there
you were
the
just there.
Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, and then I left on the 26th.
Okay.
But
Saturn
I
night.
literally felt when I was there, I was like, Maria, go. Like, it's okay. You can go. You don't have to prove anything to anyone. You don't have to stay here for a certain amount of time. Like, you make your own rules. If you want to leave here, just leave.
Nice.
That's weird. Yeah, that's
Huh.
weird.
Huh.
This is 2024 lesson for every single person. You make your own rules. You can leave when you want to leave.
It's your game. It's your simulation.
It's your simulation. Like the same way everybody's absorbed and like losing my dad, one of the traumas I had to get over was that in my dad's final moments of his existence, it wasn't all about me. Like he wasn't like, what ways could have my middle daughter have shown up for me? Like when his life was flashing before his eyes, even if he loved me with his most and put me high, I wasn't one of the great loves of his life. I wasn't one of his parents. I wasn't one of his siblings. Like I'm sure he loved me, but I wasn't even his best friend. Like maybe he thought of his friggin' childhood dog. Maybe he thought of it like it's just like all the things that flash before someone's eyes when you're like, oh my God, I should have, woulda, coulda, I should have done all these things. You're just a blip of everybody's life. Everybody's just a blip of your life. And so it's just like a really crazy concept to like bite onto that it is all your game. There is no rules. There isn't your constitution. There isn't your 10 commandments. There isn't anything that you have to abide by. You're allowed to do whatever you want. It's
Really?
wild. It's so wild.
Just don't
I have
go
to
extreme
remind
and start
myself.
killing people, y'all.
Yeah,
Isn't that
it's
what
all
we have, that we
permissible.
can
It
make our
doesn't
own
mean that it's
decisions
all
for
good for
ourselves?
you.
Yeah.
So
And we're a sovereign being.
There's
I have to remind myself sometimes, like, I'm on
I do
this
too.
trip. I
I
can
have to.
do whatever the fuck I want. And I like slept in one day until 9:30, and I was like a little freaked, like, oh my God, I've wasted this. I didn't get up with the sun. Like I could have done that. And I was just like, this is my vacation. Like, I don't know. I think there's a lot, like going back to shame, there's like a lot of shaming
Yeah.
for no reason whatsoever based on
Yeah.
brainwashing and programming and like school. Okay, law school is insane. We all are judging each other all the
I
time
believe
about
that.
the amount of time that we spend in the library. And so we're like, oh my God, you're the first person to leave. You're going to fucking fail. You're going to be the bottom of your class. And then it bleeds over into real life that I'm like, if I'm not working from 8 o'clock to 6 o'clock, I'm not a good person. I'm not getting anything done. And like, what a fucking like psyop, you know, like
Yeah.
base programming from elementary school that they instilled in us. So like, I still have to break on myself on a daily basis.
Yeah. And we need to like be easier on ourselves and stop punishing ourselves. Like,
When
we
did
do
you
that a
start
lot.
doing that? Like when in your life did you really start like questioning your reality? Was there an event that broke you?
Honestly, to not like be one of those people that's like, it's been this way my whole life. It really has been that way for a long time. Like
Uh-huh.
I was really into anti-federalism at a young age, which sounds like the biggest fucking shit of the world, but it's really true. Like I loved reading about this stuff, and I kept asking, like, I imagined myself as a rich person one day. And so the more I read about taxes, I was like, well, when I have to pay taxes, like this is fucking bullshit. I just imagined myself in this, I guess I was manifesting. But like, I have this picture of myself. I would make T-shirts that said like "Down with the Establishment" in like middle school, like dumb shit like that. So like to say that I was always wondering, I was, but to like really get deep into this shit, like 2017-ish.
Yeah, I followed you for a while, like before even
But like,
COVID. You were
well,
always
the
up
world
and
never
running.
made sense, you know. Like I'm in the middle of law school, and I was just like, why am I doing this? Like,
I
why?
think your page was one of the first pages that really like opened my eyes to more than what I was like already open to. Cause you were like one of the first like real like conspiracy pages that everyone like was my Maria, my Maria, my Maria. And then yeah,
Oh, thank you.
yeah. Well,
Aw.
thank you. Thank
Do you have a hard
you.
time taking compliments like that?
Like literally,
Yeah.
thank you. Yeah.
Like when people thank you for stuff?
Yeah, I don't know how.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Sucks,
I don't
right?
even like you talking about the compliment right now.
Let's not acknowledge it. Keep moving.
Just move on,
Move on with
Jordy.
it. You're making me uncomfortable.
No, it's like you
That wasn't
want
my
it and you
intention.
appreciate
I'm
it.
sorry.
No,
Yeah.
but it's like sometimes you just don't. Like I've never had anyone like you guys in my real life until recently, you know. And so I think you just learn to like I'm very loud and outspoken, but like I would never talk. I didn't start talking about this shit to people I know, even though I've been doing it since 2017, the last couple of years.
Yeah.
So I mean, to like, I appreciate the compliment. Thank you so much, Layla. But
Yeah,
you
of course.
know what I mean? I think we just don't know how to like,
Take it.
like, I think there's a psyop around the idea of not talking about politics and religion at the dinner table. It's happened for generations now because they didn't want us to be able to have any sort of rhetoric.
Yeah.
You know,
I
like
agree.
now we're so emotionally charged to our positions. And it's because we don't know how to have a conversation with anyone.
Right?
But
I
then
guess
like people like you and I want to talk about if it's a flat earth or a fucking Riemann sphere. And like flat earth is this like new, like, oh my God, you're a flat earther. Like it's just so
Yeah, there's already
sick, like the
shame.
judgments. Yeah.
Shame around it. Yeah, that's the shit I don't
But
like.
either
man.
way, because it's definitely
Either
a
way.
pendulum swinging because flat earthers are hardcore too. They're like
And they do that with that letter.
globetard. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
Yes,
crazy.
you're right. You're totally right. But it's
Yeah.
again, it's becoming emotionally attached to your argument or to what you believe and like having no ability to have a thought outside of your own.
Yeah, because at this point, it's like, what is truth? Like, what is even that? Like, I am trying to even find the truth of this existence, and that's even hard to even fathom because you can go so many directions. It's just like, I guess, just enjoy the ride at this point.
I guess let me ask you guys this. I don't think there's any such thing as an objective truth. What about you?
I'm on that same spectrum.
And if so, tell me what an objective truth is.
Yeah. Well, what is? Yeah. No.
I believe that only women can have babies.
That is an objective truth.
Okay,
Yeah.
that might be like the literal like exception to the fucking rule.
I know. It's the
Ones
only
and zeros, guys. That's I mean, it's ones and zeros.
holes and poles. It all boils down to
exactly.
holes
It
and
boils
poles.
down to it's a simulation, ones and zeros. You know, male, female. We can call it male, female.
Couldn't find the freaking cough button.
So
Couldn't
weird.
mute. I'm
So weird.
holding
It
on to a
boggles
cough.
me. It boggles my mind every day that we wake up, we go to sleep, we sing, we dance, we feel, we see, and it's so weird.
Why do we American dream? Like
So
I got on this discussion with my daughter today. Like why was that implanted in us that we should find our person and settle down and buy the house and go to work every day and have the family
It's
and all this shit?
Oh, dude.
the loosh. It's the whole idea
Why
of
does
like
anyone
getting you
want
into that
that?
loop.
Yeah,
Because
why though?
listen,
It's
Money is
it's
we're
real.
so
time.
destination driven that we're
I-
always looking for something. We're always waiting for something, like always on a journey to something. So the 9 to 5 gives you the destination of like your future oasis. You know what I mean? Like one day, all of your
The
hard
island.
work is going to be worth it.
I used to be that girl though
Yeah.
that wanted to be in a relationship, but I've been single for so long that I found this like place where I'm like, honestly, if I become that person that goes into a relationship, I don't think I'll be happy. I'm going to sacrifice a lot of myself for that person because it does happen. And I just can't do it. It has to be the right special person. And I don't think that person exists. Maybe it does. But what I'm looking for is, yeah, I don't think it's available.
What's funny is
The
the
other
programming though, because like parents and grandparents do it too. Like they'll be like, "When are you gonna have babies? When are you gonna have grandchildren?" You know, and like it's
I don't
so
want it.
weird how they push it though. It's
Yeah.
like everyone.
I don't want to say misery like loves company, but that's what I sort of feel sometimes when they say that. It's like, oh, why don't you have a baby and da da da? Why? Look, you're 36 years old and I'm married and da da da. But like, and I look at these girls sometimes, I'm like, but are you happy? Because I don't think you are, and the majority
but
of them are truly not.
I don't think those people have ever thought outside of the paradigm that was created for them.
True.
Hmm.
And I think one
True.
part of the, aside from like the relationships and children, is that they needed to pay for FDR's New Deal. And how do you pay for that? By employing the entire populace. Because we went from a place where like 2 or 3 people's FICA contributions were paying for one person's retirement, and now it's like 15 or 20 people's contributions are now paying for one person's Social Security retirement. So I think part of the American dream was like looping you into the loosh of like, let me give you everything, but also the indoctrination, also the brainwashing. You like get into this Groundhog Day and you never have time to think for yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, isn't that the truth?
Do you
Starts
think
at
love is real?
I think love is the only objective truth. Let me take back my previous statement about objective truths. Love is the only real thing in the Matrix.
So is like love a feeling, or is it something that you, I guess, like for me, I love my family. There's a lot of things that I'm just like I wish it could be different. I want to go away. I want to just do different because if you know my story, I take care of my family and all that, and I'm trying to live my life. But it's like I love them, but then I have this thing. I'm just like, oh, why? Why are
I guess I'm talking about like love magic, like when you meet someone and like the magic and the spark, like that's what I think makes the world go round.
You think
So
it's chemistry?
is that a feeling, or is it chemical things that happen to you that makes you aroused in an
How are
instant?
those two things different?
I don't
Exactly.
know.
It messes with your chakra system. It's all electricity, baby.
So they're the same. The
It's all the
arousal
same.
part and love.
Well,
No.
love is a spectrum, right? I mean, it has many parts. There's
Yeah, because
intimacy,
if you had
passion.
different chakras, then each chakra would get lit up differently. And
Yeah.
so if you could get somebody to light up a majority of your chakras or more than one, that might be exciting.
It makes
I
your whole
guess
body vibrate. It's
I
kind of
guess my
weird.
question is like love, right? That I know like love and like loving someone, but like is love really the word for it, or is that a word that we created to explain something that is different than how we're, I guess,
Like space.
yeah.
Is
I don't
it
know how
just
to
one of
explain
these
it.
arbitrary words
I wish
that
I was more, vocab savvy, man. God damn.
Maria, you said that you thought that space was an ocean. When I was in college, I was doing papers, and I was watching. I would leave the NASA channel on while I was like doing drawings or something like this, and you could watch. They leave the what they said was it was one of the space shuttle cameras, and they would leave a live camera on then, and you could see these things float by that were just it looked like a jellyfish Like if you just like looked in any ocean, there's all sorts of little shit that little tiny microcilia kind of little beasties in any droplet of seawater. Like that looks like this gigantic version of what I was looking at, like going past this camera in space, supposedly.
Space is water.
It totally makes sense. It has to be.
So
That's what I mean. There's what we have to have a different vocabulary for space, because it's not space. It's not void. I can get down with an ether,
I
maybe,
almost slurped.
because it's like positive and negative space. It's like matter.
Well, I think we say there
is
is space, and like what is occupying that space,
right.
is what we should say.
yeah.
Like there's space that exists. Is it full of water? Is it like, can we reach it in some way? Like I love seeing the videos that come out, whether or not they're real, of like the things that they find at the bottom of the ocean. They're like, look at this dancing blue thing. Like we've never seen it before. And it's like, that's clearly an alien.
Yeah.
You know, like let's look at the exoskeleton
For
of
real.
a mollusk or a mussel. Like these are aliens.
Yeah. Now back to the whole topic of love for 1 second. Okay? Because people say they love each other, right? I love you. But a lot of people love under conditions. I love you because they do this for me, or and if they don't do that thing, they don't love you anymore. If they change up on you, they
Taylor, have
don't
you
love
been in
you
love?
anymore. Yes, one major love that I let go, that loved me completely for like me, but like I sacrificed that and I gave it up. Fucking stupid, Layla. Shame on you. Shame on you, Layla. But yeah, I was.
Do you feel like you'll never love? I feel like you sound slightly bitter. I don't.
Oh,
mean
I'm
that in a bad
very
way.
bitter about it. I'm still bitter
Do you
about
feel
that.
like you'll never love again? Like, do you believe in one soulmate or a multitude of soulmates?
I believe I could love again. Am I looking for exactly what I had before? No, but I'm looking for something similar. Hopefully I can get that again, but it's very rare to find a man that I had, man. It's very
Somebody
rare.
in the chat said, I truly love my child more than my husband.
Yeah. I don't know. I believe that love is real. Totally. But I'm so like, I've been alone for so long that I've analyzed how a lot of relationships play out today. I'm just like, man, a lot of these people are just not even authentic in their relationships either. It's just like, it's just what I'm seeing is just, why are people even getting married today? Like, I don't even
Because we all think we have to. Going back to those like
yeah,
paradigms that are created.
yeah, and I don't
One
feel
interesting
like
I wanted.
yeah, go ahead.
I took Italian in college, and my Italian teacher said, like, you Americans say that you love everything. You love fried chicken. You love ice cream. You love this, that, and the other. And she was like, in Europe, or especially Italy, she was like, we would
Pedal
never,
word.
like, we only use love in, like, the utmost of, like, respectful meaning. So, like, if I wanted to tell you how much I liked ice cream, describe it so, like, intentionally, but I would never tell you that I loved it. So I just thought that was an interesting observation.
We do say we love. Oh, I love him. Oh, I love that. Or I love that.
But we
That's
have
so
like one
loosely
word for it, and like
defined,
Greek
too.
has 9 words for love. You know, there's like brotherly love, there's romantic love, there, you know, so
Yeah.
maybe that's why, because we have a limited vocabulary when it comes to love.
Yeah.
When we use those things loosely, like, dude, I love the Descendants, but I mean, it's a loose love.
Maybe like some people are just unconditional lovers and other people aren't?
It's having your heart chakra open. Absolutely. I do think some people are able to just love openly. Their heart is open.
Yeah.
And a
And
lot of us have
very
built up
rare.
walls from traumas and all that other bullshit.
Yeah.
So instead of like dealing with our shit, we block it off.
Yeah.
My heart's open
That's the
most of the time.
truth. Yeah, I'm trying, man.
Look,
I'm
bitches, I've been
trying.
working on myself
I just
here.
had the
So
most
Working on
crass,
my shit, man.
like where you're like, my heart's open most of the time. I wanted to be like, your pussy is whore. like if
Hey.
we were hanging out in a bar, I would have just been like, but it's getting closer to that situation.
how'd you know? Damn
You're
it.
right.
I know. Like your heart chakra's open. Why don't you
That's
come
my
on over
sacral.
here and
That's
let me
my
open up
sacral,
your heart
bitch.
chakra?
Love is great. Love is great. But it's got to be that great love, not just, I'll just settle. No. I'm looking for something special. Very special. Not that I'm something special, but like I know what Layla wants.
Layla,
Okay,
you're
don't
special.
talk to yourself like that. Why would you ever say that?
You know, like I'm
You
not
just
like
cast a spell
Princess
on yourself,
Diana,
saying that
but
you're
like
not special.
you're right, Marie.
Diana got fucking killed. How special is that?
You're right.
She's
I
dead.
take it back. I take it
You're
back.
a fucking star, Layla.
Would you rather be boring? You're
Thanks
unique, and like there's nobody that like a Layla.
for putting me on
ever
check. That's what
out
I'm
there.
talking about. That's girl fucking
Come on.
code right there.
All right, Layla. The chat wants to know your list of must-have.
Must-haves.
Yeah, of this dream man you're holding out for, this special man. What's
I'll
the
save it for the
must-have?
dating show. So stay tuned, okay?
Okay.
Stay tuned,
Fair
y'all. It's gonna be a
enough.
great show.
Fair enough. The dating space seems like a wild
I don't do it.
space.
I stopped.
Like I can't even imagine how I would
It's a
maneuver
wild,
that.
wild west.
Oh, please inform us, Maria.
You know, I'm just
It must be a
tired.
fucking horror show.
of,
I
like,
know, girl.
Why
I
can't
know.
you just be honest? You
For
know,
real.
like 2 of the people that I've made connections with, albeit very briefly, on applications, every time I match with someone now, I ask them, "Are you really single?" Yes, Maria, of course I'm single. What would I be doing here if I wasn't single? And one was married and the other one had a girlfriend of a year. And it's just like, if you want to get your dick wet, do it. But like, be honest about it. Because if I never saw somebody call themselves ethically non-monogamous again, like, I would be the happiest person in the world. But there's so many people wanting to cheat. There are so many people on there saying that they're in an open relationship or they're ethically non-monogamous. And we're so married to the paradigm that we set up this little like fucking cookie cutter life and nobody goes through like the shadow work that all of us have done. You know what I mean? I feel like they wake up and they're like, holy shit, what am I doing? And now the grass always seems greener.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I could speak on behalf of Albanian girls who get married so fucking young, starting at 17, 16. Oh, he's so cute. He has a nice car. Oh my God, he has money. That's it. He looks good. That's it. No. Like they all get married so they could have a big wedding, and our weddings are like 500 plus people just for the dress, just for the ring, so they could post it on Instagram and say that they're married. And then they have kids, and then they invite other young girls to get married so they're not alone. And then they look at me, talk shit, but they see that I'm not tied down. I could do whatever I want whenever I want without anyone stopping me. And they don't have that freedom. And I'm speaking for the Albanian community because it's very real. Very real. I don't know. I like being single. It's great. Especially now in today's dating scene. It's safe. It's very safe.
It seems crazy. Is there any sexiness in longevity?
If you make it sexy.
Do you know, like, do other people, do you look at relationships and you see a relationship and you're like, I want that?
Yeah.
Do you see relationships that you're like, that is dreamier than your single life?
I know a hot ass
I don't
couple.
think there's anyone I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
I don't know anyone in my life that I desire.
That's a lot of people could say that. I seen one couple that I live in town where I work at. They're hot. They've been married, I don't know how many plus years, over 30 years, and they still have this fire about them. And they just love each other and they're just so into each other. But they're like, they don't judge each other. They just let each other be. They're just like these two individuals who just, she's her, he's him, and they do their thing, but they appreciate and respect each other like so much. Like it's so beautiful to see. I'm like, man, I want this. I want what you guys have like so much. They're so pleasant. Shout out. I don't want to give their names out though.
They know who they are.
They know who
They're
they
probably
are.
fucking right
They're
now.
they probably watching.
They've never
I
seen
tell
this.
all
Okay,
my customers.
question:
Yeah.
Do they have kids?
Yeah, they have kids. They're all
Oh, okay.
married.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
You were about to be like, I have a question because I know what ruins what you just
Oh,
said.
he takes
Well, it
care of
does.
her.
I'm not gonna lie, it does a lot of the time.
He takes such good care of her, man. Like I don't know how to explain it. Like she's a goddess, you know. And he's just like, this is my woman.
So he's playing the masculine. He's doing his role.
Yeah.
I do think that there is something to that.
He
Like,
shows her off. He loves when people look at her. He knows he has a dime piece. He's proud of it. He doesn't hide it. He just wants her to shine. It's like, this is my baby, you know? I'm like, cute. Take notes, fellas. Come on. Do better.
Both.
Come on.
Both ends.
Yeah, both. Yeah. But still,
Both.
do better. I'm talking about the men right now. Do better.
I think like a lot of people lie on their dating applications. I think girls are contouring their face so they don't look like themselves in person, and guys are lying about their height.
That is true. That is true.
filters.
Yeah, I filter.
You filter.
Wait, I missed the
filter.
question. I popped out. What was the question?
Oh, that girls contour
Guys are-
themselves in dating and guys lie about their height.
Contour like makeup or filter?
Yeah, like they
Filter,
both. I think it's both the
contour.
same.
A mask.
I
of
don't
some
use
sort.
filters.
I do.
I'm very much against them.
Yeah, I feel like it's a false advertising. Like, why? To me,
Yeah.
I feel like put a picture of yourself on there that's an average picture. Don't put your best 3 pictures
Yeah.
that have ever been taken from you. You want to show up like, this is me and my dude brain. If I were online dating you, I want the person that I'm meeting in person to look better than I saw online.
Yeah.
So
like,
if you're
Yeah.
putting up
shit.
the best fucking pictures of you, how are you ever going to compete
Yeah.
with the not real you? So that's why the filter, don't compete
No
with
filter
that.
right now, though, by the way. All right. There's no filters yet.
I think we're getting like the more the filters, like our brain
Sees
is
it.
doing something that's turning it off, whereas there's an authenticity where you can't like see somebody's eyes, you know,
Yeah.
like and
The whites of
everybody's
your eyes.
like has all sorts of the.
But if we're avatars,
who knows what? Like this isn't even us. Like
yeah, but if
Okay,
like
you
you're
can't
seeing
make
a
a
digital
matrix simulation
representation. Like,
argument for
I
your
look weird
filters.
to me.
No, I
But why
actually
not,
do have
though?
It
this.
looks weird to
I
me.
actually
you know?
do think we're
Honestly,
being
I hate these.
gaslit by our AI. And I think that it's
Right?
doing it with spell check 100% of the time. 100% of the time. If I write love, it changes it to live. If I write live, it
Oh,
changes it
pisses
to
me
love.
off.
And I
Yes.
just look like a douchebag. It doesn't get
Do you
fuck
delete
right.
it like 5 times too and
Fuck.
try to fix it and it
Oh,
still does
I
it?
have to put
Dude, it's
X after
killing me.
everything to get it to stay. I have to make like 10 X's. And then it'll do, I always use this as the example because this is just one example of how it's happened. I was writing to a lady friend of mine and I was giving her a big ups and I was like, you look like such a baddie. And it changed it to you look like such a fatty.
That
Oh my
motherfucker.
God.
Excuse my potty mouth, but okay.
I know the story.
The live love thing though, that's kind of okay. Speaking of that, the whole live love laugh shit that everybody has all over their house.
God.
But Okay, but it goes back to the whole dreaming thing because that is usually like an indicator that you're dreaming. So I feel like this is also taking some of your superpowers away because you can't lucid dream if you're not able to use reality triggers. Well, you can, but that's usually one of them. Like if you look at a phone in a dream and the numbers don't dial right, or you can't call somebody, or the words won't type right, then that's usually an indicator that you're dreaming. So I can't use that as a dream tool anymore. Like some people think that you can't see phones in a dream. You totally can.
Hmm.
But yeah, it's not a dream tool because I do it in real life 3,000 times while I'm texting, fixing the AI, autocorrect bullshit.
I also think how I look here is the most real representation of me. When I take pictures with my phone, it is not me.
Yeah, it's not me.
And this is, I have to shout out to
Yeah.
like Rogue Ways Lindsay
not.
Sharman that she
Oh, dude.
pointed this out, that she's like AI, it like makes her chin a little broader and it makes her nose a little weird, and it's like doing this small shift almost like so that the real people in your life, if they don't see you every day, it's shifting the uncanny valley from the real you just a little bit so they wouldn't
Mm.
know if you were a Cabbage Patch stork dropped off clone.
I,
Hey, I'm glad
I
you brought
mean,
up Lindsay. Check this out. I got this from Johnny Larson this week. I don't know
Here,
if it's
I'll blow
good.
it up.
He sent me some art.
I'll
and
blow
a
it
bunch of
up.
stickers.
It's always the wrong person. His stuff's so
oh, it's
rad.
so dope.
It is so cool. He has such a
That looks
funky
like
style.
Beetlejuice when they pull their face.
Funky.
Oh,
Sound like I was like
yeah.
an old man. Look at this.
The ant people.
That
With
looks
the
cool. Mushroom head.
mushroom coming out. Yeah.
Can I say something about
Pictures.
Beetlejuice? This is so off topic, but that picture reminded me of it, and it's always
Thank you,
bothered
Johnny
me
Larson.
about
Thank you,
that show.
Lindsay.
So they can't be seen by the Maitlands. And they go talk to Juno, their caseworker, and their caseworker's like, you got to work on your haunting skills, you guys. Like, you can't be seen. So they're like, they think about it for a minute, and he like pulls his nose out and sticks his fingers in his
Yeah, what the
eyes, and
fuck?
they can't see
It doesn't
him.
make sense.
So it
I
doesn't
know.
make sense. The whole scene of them,
That's
her being
always
like, let me
bothered
pull
me.
my mouth open and have my tongue with my eyeballs on my tongue and here. It doesn't matter what you do to your face. They can't see you. So they're just like, Juno's making them have crazy face just to scare the shit out of Lydia.
Yeah,
Like, I don't know. It's always bothered me. Like,
Yeah.
me too. And Beetlejuice is the name of a red star in Orion. I thought it was a constellation, but apparently, really ride or die.
Beetlejuice.
yeah, Beetlejuice
a
is the
star.
flickering one. Sometimes I think Beetlejuice is Mars.
Yeah, sometimes, yeah.
It flickers, and I don't know. I could be wrong. It might be Sirius, but it might be Beetlejuice that they say is going to blow up on us and make a second sun. If space is real and it's a superstar, it's going to turn into a supernova, and it's going to become a second sun in our sky for a few days when it does that.
I feel like that whole mirror theory of the black sun being a mirror and like a
Like in the
light
center.
source. Yeah, and the reflection of the black sun is what creates the constellations or the stars that I guess projecting, like mirror theory. They talk about like everything's reflection, smoke and mirrors. Or it could be projections, light projections that, that the whole explanation that I had of like when you're conceived at a certain time in the set sky, and you're like, for me, for instance, I was born in March, and I guess my planet is Neptune. So during the time that I was conceived and the set house where my house would be, that's where my projection would come from that particular house.
Like
Of
you were burnt
Neptune.
here. Like you're
Yeah.
an energy
guess-
hologram, and all those stars
Yeah.
make you.
Yeah, like that's particular like set.
It's your code.
It's
your
my
blueprint.
code, my projection code. Probably. And as it moves, I move. and things happen. I guess. I don't
When you
fucking
move,
know.
we move.
Just like that. When I move, you move.
If
Just
you
like
could
that.
go to space, like space is real in this hypothetical. If you got the option, Elon, Bezos, one of these billionaires come to you and they're like, all right, here's a trip to space. And you're going to be on there with other people, like famous people. So you're not like, no, because they're just going to kill me. All those are out of the way. All those like things. Would you go in a capsule to space?
I would.
Are we
I would
coming
be the
back,
first
or are we
one
gonna
to
go
go.
live there?
I'd go.
You'd be out. You're
Like,
like,
you're
I'm
done.
done.
No, I would
We're
not
done
go.
with Earth. I wouldn't either.
If I knew that we
Now,
could go, I would go.
would I
Fuck it.
like go up a staircase in a national park? 100%. Would I go
I'm
on
in.
Elon's Musk up into space? No.
Would you go into a submarine,
No.
like a deep sub? Would you be more?
Oh, I might do that. I'd do
I would
that.
do nothing that somebody if I knew the person who was operating these things and I trusted them, yes. If I'm throwing caution to the wind and just getting in a fucking submarine, no.
What do you think of the thing? Celebrity death.
What do you think?
Celebrity
of the
death
thing? It's going to be a new
submarine.
T-shirt. That's going to be
What
on
are
the
they
merch
called?
store. What do
I
you
think-
think of the
Hey.
thing?
What do you think
think
of the
it's
Let's
thing?
think about
Titan.
a couple different like hypotheticals, okay? One, if we're just thinking about physics and pressure and all that bullshit, they imploded immediately. Why was there this why did we pretend that wasn't real, and search for them and the blah 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 bullshit? Like, you didn't even have to get the people involved, but like you can see the loosh there, obviously.
Oh yeah.
If I think that the faking your death is an interesting hypothetical. Did
Yeah.
you see recently though, after they told us that it fucking imploded in the very beginning, just like a month or two ago, they said they found remains.
And it took how long to find the Titanic?
There would be no remains from an implosion. Like, that's not how this
It'd
works.
be like a crushed can. Yeah.
Right, a little like fucking femur bone is not gonna like pop out and like lie on the ocean floor.
I think they did find a passport though.
Oh, fuck off. It's so silly. But, space is an ocean. This reality through Mariana's Trench.
Wait,
And
That's
then-
what I.
Are you guys still
I
there?
think you're rubber banding a little. Say it again.
So
She said space is an ocean,
if-
and she thinks you
if
can
space
get
is an
to it
ocean,
from the Marianas
can you hear
Trench.
me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So is that like
Hello.
it also seems like
Yeah.
a special area of energy. I'll come back.
Okay, yeah, there might be a delay for a second. But all of the shuttles arc. I've seen so many of them, and there is something about them. I think they have to, almost in that Back to the Future way, they have to get 88 miles per hour to break like the water tension with this rocket, and that's why they're having to build it so big. But I watched a rocket launch. Was it last night?
Oh,
Layla,
yeah.
was it last
Can you
night?
pull it up?
Yeah. That
I'm going to try to
it was
pull it
last
up right
night.
now. I'll try to.
So
It
dope.
was so weird. It was like really bright. It's clear because it's kind of chilly in Florida, so the atmosphere is really thin. And I will say, just because you can see a very humid atmosphere and one without any humidity in it sometimes in Florida, it does give a lot of credence to a flat earth argument or even a rendering argument that, wow, you really can see so much further with just humidity. So like perception is literally everything. But so they all arc, but the one last night, because they also start heading south. We think it's so funny because you can see them come out of where, like, it looks like they shoot out of Orlando, but they're obviously coming out of Kennedy Space Center. But it almost looks like it's coming from the center of the state, and then it looks like it does due south, like it goes straight down the coastline, and it doesn't arc, but the two boosters that came off of it, they look like they hit something and started spiraling out. Like, it was so weird. I'm gonna find the video and show you guys. What are you laughing at?
I'm just laughing at snowboard right now.
What did he? I'll put it up.
No, you're right. I've seen that. It was probably about a year ago. I
No.
saw that SpaceX thing arcing over.
Somebody is asking in the chat about bringing prospects to date Godpill Angel for our ball drop episode. The dating episode and the New Year's Eve episode are going to be totally separate.
Yeah.
things.
I love you guys.
But bring anyone you want into chat, and if they are into Godpill Angel, there will be an opportunity to maybe go on a date with her.
All right. I'm excited.
If they match, if they
Yeah.
Sounds
Yeah.
scary.
if you're into that sort of thing.
Obviously, yeah.
We're not just setting you up on a human trafficking a la Kevin Spacey.
Sounds like a
We're not setting you up on a Spacey pill angel.
Oh my God. I want that as a
So
poster
weird.
now.
I know, it's so bizarre.
Oh,
And
shit.
now I see somebody mentioned the nipples, so now all I look at is the nipples, and I'm like,
so creepy.
does that look kind of androgynous?
I haven't even looked at the nipples once yet. I keep missing the nipples.
I-
I keep
that's all I
going
see,
right to like
somebody-
what's hanging
I've seen
around
that,
his
like-
neck.
First time you
Nipples.
put it up.
What is hanging on Kevin Spacey's neck right now? Anyways, what were we talking about in space? Water, space being a water, and I was gonna pull
Yeah.
up a video.
I'm leaning more towards that water.
I think we all are.
Yeah.
I'm gonna agree there.
Yeah, right?
Have you ever seen the movie Inner Space?
No.
Yes.
Probably not. Maybe. I don't know. I don't know the titles. I gotta see like a face.
I'll tell you an elevator spiel on it. A scientific lab makes this deal where they can shrink people down to a really small size, almost nano size, and then they can shoot them inside a person. And once they're inside a person, they can almost control them. They can plug a little thing into their ear so they can talk to them inside. They can speed up their heart rate. Almost everything that we say computers think that they can do with nanotechnology now. But it's Martin Short and Dennis Quaid, and it's like the technology gets stolen, so they inject it into Martin Short, and so he has to kind of get this technology safely somewhere, but it's inside of him.
I don't think I've
And
seen it.
the crazy thing about it is they did this with the Magic School Bus too, y'all.
What's the Magic School Bus?
What's that?
It's like this fucking old lady
The TV
teacher,
show,
and
the
she like,
cartoon.
Yeah.
yeah,
Cartoon.
The
the
Magic
cartoon
School Bus.
version, really.
Yeah. Miss Frizzle.
I know what it is, everyone. I don't. This is the best.
Oh my
this
gosh,
is the-
Chaney, you don't know?
This is
I'm
the
like,
funny
what?
thing that is happening to me very frequently. I'll just let everyone know in the audience. Sometimes I'll ask questions just to like expand on what we're talking about to someone in the room. And so it'll be like, and what is the flat earth theory, Layla? And so people, I will tell you, I'll get 50 people that'll send me videos to be like, Chaney, you don't know what the flat earth is. I'll get Magic School Bus shit for days. Like some witch, you don't even know what the Magic School Bus is. Anyway, sorry. What's the Magic School Bus?
My childhood. Miss Frizzle. Miss Frizzle and her amazing science projects and shrinking kids and going into the body and like figuring out how a cucumber turns into a pickle and like little
What?
science project. Yeah, you didn't see that episode of
I
how
just
they
like
shrunk.
you just said she went inside the human body and how a cucumber turns into a
Oh,
pickle.
yeah.
And I'm like, what is Mrs.
You know-
Shrinkle teaching you?
Whose body is that?
I think they
Piss
went.
and vinegar.
What
What's
is it
happening
doing?
in there?
Who was sick in the episode?
The
I
ancient
forgot.
rider.
Someone was sick in the
Putting the
episode.
pickle in the cat.
One of the students, I believe, was sick, and Miss Frizzle took the entire
The pickling
trip
technique.
into the body to try and get something out. I forgot. Very vague memories. Maybe
Would you enter space before you went to outer space?
I would so like to shrink and go
Nah.
inside.
I don't want to do that either.
I do.
If you could go inside someone, who would you go inside?
Myself and kill off the vril.
Even if I had a penis for a day.
Are we doing like being John Malkovich right now? Like, is that the like? Do I get to sit in somebody's brain for like 15 minutes, or how does that?
Yeah,
work?
you could plug in. That's like the inner space is like you can hear them and then you can plug in so you can right into their eardrum so no
Ooh.
one else
Britney
can hear.
Spears. Ooh.
Oh, go into Britney.
Let's see how many personalities she has if she's real.
You wouldn't pick a friend or a family
Is
member?
she?
You want to
Fuck
be
no, I do
tortured?
not
Do you
want to
think
know
that-
what they think. Hell no.
Do you think she's so Maria?
Uh-huh.
Do you think what we're seeing on Instagram is an AI, or is it somebody experiencing some sort of disassociation?
Have you guys seen the Black Mirror episode called Black Museum?
What was it about?
So, not just this episode. Like Black Mirror has this concept of like overarching in a lot of their episodes,
Yeah.
where there's this ability to section off part of your consciousness into some sort of like digital form. And in the episode Black Museum, there's a black man, his name's Clayton. And Clayton was accused of first-degree murder back in the day. He's convicted of it wrongly, and he gets the electric chair. So somebody recorded him getting electrocuted and dying that way, and they made it into this like digital consciousness, and it's then at this Black Museum, and so you can go and see Clayton's digital consciousness at the Black Museum, and then for a certain price you can torture him, and you can press this button and it relives the electric chair over and over and over again. And so his consciousness is tortured into perpetuity, and then that consciousness is then split off. Like the museum game has this ability to like make you a keychain with this little tiny television on it, where you watch him then get tortured over and over and over again. So I think what we're seeing Britney wise is like Clayton from Black Museum, where part of her consciousness is digital and she's being tortured over and over and over again.
Oh my god.
I've been meaning to like write a post about this for a really long time.
Huh.
This is this theory I've been working on. But I think she's like Clayton. And if you haven't seen that episode, it's so crazy. Like, I highly recommend
Have you
it.
ever had a conversation with somebody with like what they would say, like, or what you would translate as dissociative identity disorder?
Like, have I ever talked to somebody who is dissociative, or
Yeah.
have I ever defined it?
Yeah, well, both.
Or you're
I
just
guess.
driving
'Cause
and then you're like, I'm
dissociation
going to
is
drive into a
like-
tree.
It's like different levels,
that-
right?
Sorry.
I think there are different
I
levels.
mean,
I think
it's that's how you get mind control is disassociation.
or fracturing someone's
It's how
mind.
you-
Yeah, I guess it all plays
Fracturing
into
somebody,
it.
yeah.
I guess dissociative disorder is like when like you know
Trauma.
somebody's found like 1,500 miles away from their home and like they have no idea how they got there. There's literally a blank slate.
Mm.
I think we all probably disassociate from time to time. I don't know that I could define the threshold for you personally.
What's the dude's name that Clayton? What'd you say Britney Spears is from Black Mirror?
I think Britney's digital consciousness is in Instagram or is in some sort of form that they torture, and that's what is proffered and like published in that way.
I swear this is real because I feel like a lot of times when we go on our shows afterwards, I feel like she posts pictures of what we kind of spoke of, and I feel like she can like hear us on the fucking internet. I
Every
know it
time.
sounds crazy.
We all
I
feel like that. We all see it.
yeah, it's so strange. I feel like I don't know. I can't explain it.
Oh, I also, okay, my other theory on Britney is if you've watched the last Matrix movie,
Hmm.
spoiler alert, don't listen if you want to hear it, but it identifies the Oracle
Blah,
as
blah, blah, blah. Sorry. Sorry
It's
to
been
interrupt.
out long enough. Just deal with it.
Oh, see, it was
Damn
supposed
it.
to happen because she's rubber
losing my,
banding.
Yeah, it's rubber banding.
We'll remember where you were at on Matrix 4 with spoiler alert.
Yeah, I want to know.
The Oracle.
The Oracle something.
Yeah, she'll be back. She'll be back. Isn't it funny that isn't it the Matrix that was the Terminator? Like they say it was the like prequel or that
Yeah.
they're all attached.
Well, the Terminators are prequels to the Matrix.
Oh yeah,
Because
yeah.
that's like when they enter the Matrix. And John Connors is actually Neo.
Huh.
But
That's
Neo put it into the Matrix.
the Matrix. I think Britney is Sookie Stackhouse.
What?
I think she's Sookie Stackhouse.
Is it-
I think
She's
Britney
fae.
Spears is a fae. I
She's got the
think
cracked
whatever
blood.
that means, her blood tastes different than ours. And so they can put her in a perpetual state like they did Anna Nicole Smith of like a child but with an adult amount of fear and living and life, but in a child's production. So they can separate her alters and make her fey blood, her juicy adrenochrome. And so I just think when she's having her moments, that's when they were selling it. And so I think her family took her blood and sold her blood to people like a little schizophrenic. And that's what the elite would do.
Yeah.
Can you
Yeah.
hear me now?
So you, God?
are you there, God? It's me, Maria. Okay, so my other thought, spoiler alert, hold your
Spoiler
ears
alert.
if you don't want to hear it. They reveal that like the Oracle is just a program.
Mhm.
Everything is a computer program. And so the Oracle was a program meant for that reality to reveal certain things to you and Neo and that type of thing. So sometimes I wonder if like the digital version of Britney is a failed program that's like learning all the time in that sort of AI sort of way that like she's just like a bad previous beta version and they've just like thrown it up on Instagram to like see what happens. The way she like spins and breaks down and stuff. I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say it kind of seems like it too, because then there's multiple accounts, and I'm pretty sure they're all like splintered from the same account. I don't think that these are like. I think that they are a part of the Britney Spears thing. I don't think that they're separate entities. I don't think they're fan accounts, and only because they'll like repost, but they'll post the same thing Britney just posted, but it'll be like different clips of the same dances. And so it's slightly different, but very similar. So and then they always, so it's got to be attached to AI somehow because it is pulling shit from the show. I
Okay,
swear to
let's
God.
just in this hypothetical,
Okay.
Britney is Tyler in this
Yes.
hypothetical, and Tyler
Or
is
Alice.
but Maria, what's Tyler real quick, an elevator speech on that?
Okay, imagine like the supercomputer of supercomputers, like an AGI that is self-aware, that exists in the future, and through quantum computing and Mariana's Trench, the 8th level of the internet, which is a whole nother discussion, it has the ability to talk to itself in real time from the future and essentially controls the entire sim.
Okay, so think of how many times they showed us they wanted celebrities to break the internet, and they always tried to use like a Kim K, and they even used Kim K, and they had her use Marilyn Monroe's dress to try to like own this whole spell and make her wear it and give this, she's gonna break the internet. And all the celebrities, Kanye, they always try to do something to get all the attention on them. Britney spins with knives, biggest thing of 2023. Like, biggest thing. She breaks the
But that's
internet.
because of the conservatorship.
Tyler. I think, but even bigger than the
If she was
conservatorship.
all, if there was, the conservatorship was still in place, we would all just be like, oh, that's Brittany, Channel in 2008. You know what I mean?
I just think it's interesting how that became the biggest thing in the whole world. Like, it didn't matter. It was like everyone was mocking it. It was like Bernie mittens. It was, you know how like Bernie sitting with mittens just became a thing. It's like some things, I think it's just like you can't, like the Kardashians want so bad to like plan the thing, and like they're putting themselves everywhere, and they're like they're incepting us with their idea all the time. But then you can't fake the funk that you're just Britney, and you go on your camera in your living room one day and spin with knives, and we're all like Faye blood.
But like, couldn't it be such an interesting psyop that like they're messing with our minds? You know what I mean? That like no matter how like depraved or incomprehensible or like crazily overt that this person is, we all want to like make it all of it a conspiracy, and we want to explain all of it away. Like sometimes I think it's just a mental fuck with us.
Well, speaking of, and speaking of this whole thing, because just everything that we're leading up to this, it kind of reminded me of the whole Gypsy Rose of it all. Because the biggest thing in 2023 now, I mean, she's free, and all of a sudden she has like this morning I looked, she had like 1 million likes on her "I'm free" post. Now she's up to 4.9 million likes on her fucking Instagram.
Who is Gypsy Rose?
She was the girl who was totally abused by her mother, and I mean, she murdered her mom. Long story short.
Okay,
But
wait. You gotta get more to it than that.
I know, I know. I just figured I'd start with that's how I read books. I always read them from the end.
You know, she's
read
getting
the
a lot
end
of
first.
criticism now, and I don't like that. Like, what?
Oh wait,
Like,
hold on. We gotta bring up the Munchausen's by proxy though.
yeah, do it. Yeah.
Okay, so there's the idea of being a hypochondriac. Something's always wrong with you. There's the idea of this Munchausen's disease, where like you have some ailment that you have completely made up, and it's all about it's, you know what, Munchausen's is about fucking loosh, you know, like what a novel idea not to consider. But you're so tied up in the emotions of it all, what you can get from people, you want the sympathy. And so to make it even fucking more insane, you can have Munchausen's by proxy as like a parent, perhaps. Gypsy Rose's mom was so obsessed with like taking care of her and her always being sick that she physically, emotionally, like abused her entire life, stunted her growth, ripped all her teeth out, blah, 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 blah. So here's my question to you guys. Now you're kind of mad. I'm not saying mad. Now you're talking about how she's being glorified, even though she, you know, conspired to commit first-degree murder. But like, is there a certain level of abuse that an individual is allowed to sustain in order to eye for an eye? Like, did she deserve to go to prison for 8 years after everything that happened to her?
That's a tough question.
Not in my book. But it is.
Wait, well, not in my book. What does that mean? She should have gone to jail or not gone to jail?
Not gone to jail. She's.
I could speak on abuse because I've endured a lot of it. Did I kill anyone? No. Did I deserve it? Absolutely not. No one deserves that shit. 8 years, is it a lot to kill somebody who abused you? I don't know. That's a tough one. I don't know.
I'm just laughing because
I give her a pass.
it looks like Gypsy's sitting in the room.
Gypsy, what do you say, girl? Have you seen how Gypsy is obsessed with Taylor Swift? And she's announced that she and her husband bought tickets to the Chiefs game, and that she wants to meet Taylor Swift so bad. So like, think about the psyops, like the Venn diagram of psyops at that game of like Travis Kelce and Pfizer and Taylor Swift.
Well, and doesn't this feel like it's happening today? Yesterday. So it was like 12:29. So we're still in 2023. It just feels like there's something to all that as well. Like,
Well, think about too, like if I'm growing up and my mom treats me like shit and I start to idealize Gypsy Rose, then like
oh yeah,
murder becomes
matricide.
like the answer to my problems for like all the ladies coming up in the world.
And then
But
I
at
could
the
be
same
internet
time,
famous.
my legislature made laws that tell me what the crimes are, but Big Mama didn't get prosecuted for torturing me for 20 years. So like, why can't I go out there and kill her?
There, I had to give her a proper name on the podcast, so I named her Gypsy by proxy.
Why
It
didn't
looks
she just
great.
like leave? Why'd she go to that extreme? Why didn't she
She
just
couldn't.
It looks
leave?
like
she
Maria's
was
fucking
She was in a
immobile.
wheelchair with tubes up her nose.
I think they
Like,
were giving her like dog, something that you give your dog when they can't walk anymore.
yeah, she had to take like chemo medication. She had to be on like painkillers sometimes. Anytime she was asking questions, like her mom would just dope her up more.
Here's the
Yeah,
other question. Think how many agencies, how many doctors, how many individuals, how many
All failed her.
pharmacists failed her.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the part that pisses me
Yeah.
off.
All of us.
I won't
Especially as
take
an educator,
responsibility.
because it's like,
Oh.
But why
all
would
kids
they
are your business.
do that?
I won't take responsibility
Yeah,
for
issue.
it
Why
any
would they-
more than I'll take responsibility for natives. Like
Why-
where people are like, look at all this stuff we did. I didn't fail Gypsy Rose.
Why
Sorry.
would the doctors be in it? Like, why would they help the mother out? Like, what was the mother offering these doctors that was so, like, why?
They lost her medical record.
But what was in it for the doctors? What were they getting
Because
out
that's,
of it
baby.
through the mom? Like, if this was,
I mean, there was a person exchange. They just believed this woman.
Yeah.
And she
Like a
was
treat.
make a wish.
Take your
She
money.
did everything. They went to free concerts in Disney World and
She loosed
trips,
it all.
and she got money, and she got houses, and she got a free car, and like she used her sick daughter to do
so
everything.
fucked up. That is so fucked up. That's disgusting. Honestly. To
Think
that
about the poor
extreme.
dude.
Change your mind?
Yeah, to that extreme.
Okay,
The man,
exactly.
the man she got to do it, he's in for life without parole. Meaning he will never
that
get
Fucked
out.
up.
Yeah. I mean, and he was, I don't know. I want to take compassion on him and say, fuck, if I love somebody, and they were in that bad of a situation, I'd probably do what I had to do
Yeah,
too.
good for him. Like
I
at
know.
what point? Yeah, I feel like the whole thing, and one of the reasons that none of the doctors say it, it's one of the reasons that a lot of these compartmentalized agencies that are created by the government where they don't say it is because once one of them admits fault, then the crumble down of all of them that have done stuff wrong, because they've all just been picking up clipboards and reading information and putting in their ego and 2 cents of bad education and moving on. So
And
once
writing prescription.
yeah, and writing, and no one once your bum prescription is figured out, then every single other person that I just walk in this office and walk in that office and walk in that office and sign, and this was all going on during all the pill mills. So think of like especially Florida, with all where they were just pushing pills to everyone. So they didn't care about like some Make-A-Wish girl. They just wanted to get that fat mom out of the hospital.
Yeah.
They were like, psh, just another one.
Think
Shaved
about
her
it this way.
head.
When has your doctor ever told you no?
Or just the whole pain threshold is created just so you can be more comfortable.
Like,
The
have you ever
scale
gone
of
to the
1 to
doctor
10.
and they were just like,
Oh no, they always wanted to add something.
no, I'm not going to do anything for you. There's nothing that can be done for you.
They got a referral to give you or a pill. Every single thing the doctor gives you is something they get a kickback for. If they send you to another
Yep.
doctor, they get a kickback. If they send you a medication, they get a kickback. If they send you to go use a machine, they get a kickback. So it doesn't
Yeah.
matter if it's a CAT scan, an MRI, or if they just want to freeze fat off your thighs. They get kickbacks for every machine they refer you to. If they refer you to any agency, they get a kickback. Anytime your insurance is used, they get a kickback. They
Yeah.
don't want you to know what stuff you're paying for inside your insurance. A lot of times you can look up in your insurance. You might get Meals on Wheels and somebody to come do your laundry and free gym membership paid for with your insurance. Your doctor doesn't want you to know that because everything that you know about that stuff means you're going to go into his office less. So it's
That is true.
a corrupt system.
I saw this video recently that was a pharmacist, and he was saying that like pharmacists are currently under a gag order where nowadays, like with GoodRx and things like that, we're realizing that the cash price is better than your insurance price, but they're under gag orders that they can't tell you that like after you've presented your insurance. They can't be like, hey, let's not even run this. Let's just do this cash real quick.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
They are at such gag orders that pharmacists, time and time again, I have a few pharmacist friends, time and time again, they'll look at these 80-year-old people who can't afford to even feed themselves, and they'll look at their medications that they're getting from all their doctors, and they're like, half these things counteract each other. The other half the things, they just want to be like, hey, lady, eat a banana. And they're like, but the pharmacist isn't allowed to say anything legally about any of that stuff.
I personally have a friend and she died, but she was pretty ill. She had had like several back injuries, and so she, OxyContin and all of that. But I was visiting her and I didn't realize how downhill she had gone. She was like, and I was so upset. She was like on the couch and, we couldn't even really talk. So I sat there and cleaned her house as I'm crying, like trying to process it all. And her husband comes in and he brings in a box, cardboard box full, and he sets it on the counter and it's full of prescriptions. And I said, is that all for her? And he goes, this is only one box. He's like, there's 3 other at the pharmacy. I just couldn't afford them. And I was
Dude, that was
fucking
my mother.
pissed because I was like, you cannot tell me that she can take all of the stuff in that box plus 3 other boxes worth and not be killing herself. It's insane to me.
I know a few people that I will remain nameless, a few oldies that
Same.
they take cruises after cruises after cruises, and people are like, how do they afford to take so many cruises? It's not really that they can afford to take so many cruises. It's taking cruises is cheaper than getting medicine in America. So they can take a cruise and go to Mexico and get all their pharmaceuticals and get back, and the trip included, or they can go to Europe and get their surgery done and come back and their trip is included. So people are just not using the American system as much anymore. They're like
Yeah.
piecing it together in ways.
They're pretty much over it.
They're traveling to
Mhm.
get their shit. But a lot of the new thing that's happening with a lot of my friends around here is they just have ailments upon ailments and everybody seems like they're sick. So a few dudes went to this naturopath and just got an allergy test done, and it was kind of expensive. Like it was like $800, and it was just like stabbing their back with all of these things and then what they were allergic to. Every single one of them was allergic to like something they had been eating every day. Like apples, like something so that you're like an apple a day keeps the doctor away. No, it'll, make you dizzy and feel like you're gonna pass out if you eat one every day and you're allergic to it.
Mhm.
So I was thinking most of us are probably eating shit we shouldn't be eating.
That's what I like from doing the whole bodybuilding diet. Like, you do eat a lot of the same foods, but a lot of it is very hypoallergenic. You eat rice, you don't eat wheat. So, um, so then when you do add things back, like, I ate potatoes my whole life, probably every day as a kid. Um, like a staple in our house for dinner time. But when I added them back, because my coach put me on potatoes one week instead of rice, like I swelled up, like it was insane. I couldn't believe it. I was like, oh my gosh, all these years I've had a potato allergy and I had no idea, and I wouldn't have known had I not eliminated it and tried it again. But it's
Really?
insane. Yeah. Oh, I've like little things too. Like I can eat pickles all day, like dill pickles, but if I eat a cucumber, like my stomach like swells too. So it's so weird. Um
Dude,
I
God, I
hear
really
that those
for
cucumber
real.
seeds
Like,
fuck people up. Those
yeah.
seem to be like a little hidden demon, a little hidden terror. We need to have a war on cucumber seeds, Obama.
Seeds, period. I mean, it's kind of like the whole jalapeno seed too.
I kind of want to go get tested by one of those specialists who kind of see what food allergies you have.
You
And
can Alcat
um,
testing, but
yeah,
you could also just do an elimination diet.
your elimination diet.
and then uh,
Dude,
Gradually
I'm
add one food back
sure.
in at a time.
yeah, but what if you're
Yeah, dude.
allergic to many things and just excluding one doesn't really make a difference if you're
No,
Well,
with
It will.
you have
elimination, you
to.
start with like 3 or 4
Yeah.
items and you only eat those for a few weeks. And then
ah
you add 1 item at a time to it.
And you'll
oh
know because you'll
Right.
get
You'll
gas, your
get.
stonach will get
There's
huge, your
somebody,
throat will
And you'll
swell.
get it at Christmas because they'll give you cookies.
there's
interesting.
someone called Lynn Jeanette, I think L-Y, I don't know if it's a G or a J. I have a book on it, but it's an elimination diet like that. And you check your tongue the next morning after everything you eat. And if there's like a white film, like if you've produced yeast from whatever like your new food is, then that's a sign that it's causing inflammation in some way and you would eliminate it then from your diet.
Fascinating.
I think people like when you wake up in the mornings, like get like whatever spit in your mouth and spit into the toilet. Like just and you can see like what's going on in your body by that spit, like how much yeast build up you have, how much and you can like look up what does spit look like in the morning? Like you can look it up, but it's like an easy way like your tongue, like it shouldn't be all white, your spit shouldn't be all like stuck together like yeast. Like that kind of like glucose.
Is it
Mm,
foamy?
like stringy.
Yeah, it's like a little thing. And on the Secret Society, good guys, we don't mind talking about it. You should look at your shit
Yeah. Yeah.
because there could
Oh,
be gold in there.
well, I'll tell you what. Do you want to talk about shit for a minute? Because you have to talk about this when you're a bodybuilder. You talk about it with your coach in depth. It's uncomfortable. Like, especially, well, some of my last coaches I didn't have to, but now my new coach is like, no, you probably shit wrong. And I was like, what are you talking about? I do not shit wrong. He goes,
How
you probably don't
dare
shit every
you?
day. And he goes, and I'm like, no, I shit like a bodybuilder. I shit every day. I'm good, man. And he was like, you probably still don't shit right. And I was like, do not tell me that. You're pissing me off now. And he goes,
I'm
if
gonna
you have
start
to
telling
wipe
that
more
to the
than
people
twice,
just to trigger them.
yeah,
I'm gonna be
oh
like,
yeah,
whatever. You probably don't even shit right.
I swear, I feel like he does sometimes.
You shit like a
So then he goes,
bodybuilder.
if you have to wipe more than twice, you're not shitting right. And I was like, oh shit. Like, okay.
Oh,
So
shit.
really, Metamucil, it's
And then
so
he
fucking real.
sold you
This
a
is the
bidet.
the whole psyllium husk thing. It's amazing. I will say that. It will keep you regular and you spend a lot less time wiping. A lot less
Hmm.
toilet paper.
Hmm.
Everybody
We
should
need
go get a
bidets.
colonic.
I've
I
had
love
one
that.
and
I
it's
agree with
What?
that.
fantastic.
Seriously? Seriously?
Wait, who are you talking to? Me?
To you?
I get a
Yeah,
colonic twice a
Maria.
month. I love them.
They're
Really?
great.
Mhm. I have irritable bowel syndrome. I got it from Accutane, and
For real?
I feel so good when I get the colonic.
I think I need to go because recently my gut hasn't been doing well. I need to go.
Really, so much stuff boils down to parasites and yeast.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, getting rid of sugars and wheat, any wheat, like change your whole life.
Yeah, there's this whole
Agreed.
thing on.
It kind of starves them out, and then you just add a shit ton of fats.
There's this whole thing on mold now. Like, what's the word? Oh yeah. Anyway, mold is a thing, and people are now like,
Fungus.
no, there's another word.
Asbestos.
When stuff sits in your
But
gut and ferments,
hey,
fermentation.
fungus is another potential parasite host
Yeah.
relationship.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Fungus. Fungi.
But yeah, there's a whole thing. People are checking their houses, inside their houses. Mainly, people are getting sick because of the mold in their house and they don't realize it. And you can't even, yeah.
So,
Some people have a keen sense of smelling mold in their house, but many people don't. Kudos to you if you do.
There's like a whole philosophy that your nose, it's called that because it knows. Like
Mm.
it knows exactly what you should be eating. It knows what you should be smoking. It knows what you should be drinking. It knows when you should walk away from something. It knows when you should go towards something.
Mm.
Like they say everything is about it. Like even your cravings, like when something smells really good to you, we don't always make the healthiest decisions with what our nose is craving or what we smell, but it's like they say you should smell your food more than look at it.
Do you know in Islam, they say that the hardest thing for God to create was the nose of a human? It was the first thing and the hardest thing to create. It's the nose.
Really?
why is
I
that?
don't know. That's what I was always told.
Look at how
AI
you
kind of
said
has
I don't know. Look at how we were like eyes don't knows.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And look at how we're
Okay,
just
so
told with the simulation how much our eyes lie to us. But I don't think they could create smell with the simulation, and that's why the COVID, they wanted to take away taste and smell because those they wouldn't be able to do inside the Matrix.
Mm,
okay, I would love to piggyback off this.
yeah.
Part of me
That's
wonders
good.
if like food is getting so rancid that part of COVID was eliminating our ability to taste and smell because our food has deteriorated so much.
Ah,
Like, okay, I think of the idea of heat as it relates to food is so interesting. Like the way that we take certain foods and we heat them up, and when they're heated, they're edible, like French fries or potatoes. And when they're not heated, they're nearly inedible to us.
yeah.
Like I just think that's such an interesting concept. The way that like they almost, it's almost like a dog and pony show a little bit of them heating up food for us to eat. That if it wasn't, we might not ingest it in that
This
way.
is the Sims.
It's like the way they're like denaturing the enzymes, and then
Food doesn't even
we
seem
ingest it.
real to me, honestly. The food that we eat today, I'm like, man, this is like just fake shit. This just feels fake. It tastes different. Just something's not the
You have to
same.
make everything yourself. It's a pain in the ass, but you gotta
Maybe it's just
like
me. I don't know.
make everything yourself every day.
Does
Sucks,
anyone else feel that way?
but you have
That
to do
food
it.
just
What's that?
freaking different and
Sucks. Yeah.
tastes fake?
Even the raw ingredients suck are going
I don't know. The
downhill.
food I eat is pretty good, and I eat the same shit every single day, but it tastes like energy, and it's amazing.
I know. I feel like I'm pretty satisfied with what is going into my mouth.
Maybe it's in my head because everything is
so too.
GMO and pesticide. I'm
Everything
just
is all
like,
chemicals. Like
yeah.
It is.
when I ate off track
that
for
reminds me.
this month, it was bad. Like you should have seen how swollen my stomach was. Holy crap! Just eating 3 days on track, like I look a hell of a lot better already.
On track.
Yeah, on track means on point, not fucking up at all.
I want to be able to
Talking about
eat
tonight.
things. I love cooking, and my favorite trash, I dig. This is not an ad. This is not a paid sponsorship by Little Caesars Pizza, but their deep dish with Old World
Oh, crap.
pepperoni
Oh
is
man,
chef's
dude.
kiss.
I've
It
never
tastes
had
like
Caesars.
1990
Really?
Pizza Hut, the restaurant, and you have to get the deep dish, old school. It's like Old World
Now,
pepperoni, and it is the
now,
best trash food. It's the only trash food I put into my body, but I'm like, it's so good. Mm,
I'm getting the trucker
The
special
pepperonis have to be
tomorrow
burnt,
for my
just a little
meal,
bit burnt on top.
which is like
what?
pancakes. That's
Fried
I like.
chicken, I love it. Fried chicken.
Will you fried chicken and
Just fried.
waffles?
That's good.
Fried chicken and pancakes.
I like
That
fried
sounds
chicken and
good.
waffles.
I could go for
I love
that.
pancakes.
Never.
Mm.
I
I
haven't.
love pancakes too.
I
I like
love
waffles too.
pancakes.
I like both.
I don't like
My favorite cheat
waffles.
meal.
I like both.
Tons
But
of
I'm
butter.
not a French toast gal.
Really,
I
how
like
do you?
my French toast. I like savory French toast. I make it different than the sweet cinnamony ones.
I just don't want egg soaked bread. It just is a
It
weird
smells
concept.
weird. Does it
You
not
know,
smell weird?
It tastes
Here's
weird on my tongue.
here's the thing. There's a trick. Toast the bread first. Okay, toast it first, then do the whole egg thing, and then cook it. It's gonna be different. It's gonna be
I've
different.
tried it with
Yeah.
I've tried it with English muffins, Texas toast, white bread, wheat bread, every kind of bread. I feel like it's just something like I'll just give me my pancakes and then put the eggs. I don't even like sometimes my food touching. Like I just want it all
Same.
sanctioned.
Mm-hmm.
That's
So
me.
sometimes with the French toast, I'm like, of course the French would do this.
Even my pasta, it's so strange. I like my sauce on the
You know, the
side.
only thing I can imagine worse than French toast, Canadian toast.
Is there
Sorry.
such a thing, or you just or
I
are
was
we
just
just being
being
like
facetious.
Uncle
I was totally
Fuckers? Is that what they call
Because of her hatred for Canada.
because the one thing that gets me is a Canadian.
them? Don't they call them
Hey.
Uncle Fuckers on South Park?
That's hilarious. What?
I'm pretty sure on South
Really?
Park they go Uncle Fuckers, and they're talking about Canadians.
I just think a French Canadian accent on a man makes me dry.
Wait, you got to refresh my memory on how that sounds.
It's like, oh, Layla, why you say this like that?
Canadian?
How do you say? How do you say?
How do you say?
I hate when people say, how do you say?
French
How do
Canadian?
you
How do you
say?
say?
No, French would say
good.
qu'est-ce que c'est?
Pescase.
Qu'est-ce que c'est?
Pescase.
Yeah, but French
Oh, yeah, you're right,
Canadian
yeah.
is a
But when you
tight.
say it, it sounds sexy, Maria. It doesn't sound
She's
like
not saying it like French Canadian. She's saying
Yeah.
it like
In my head, it
French.
triggers the
France.
talking heads.
France.
She's all je m'appelle my Maria.
The thing about I could never
Wait.
grasp French completely because I took Latin and Italian where you enunciate every single syllable, and then the French just leave off the S and like leave off the last couple letters on all of their words.
Yeah.
Here's another interesting. Okay, why does every other language other than like we do not to make this about fucking pronouns, but
Mhm.
you know, you learn a new language and every word is either male or female.
Yeah.
With the, you know,
It's all masculine, feminine.
we don't.
L and
Yeah.
lay.
Yeah.
I could never. It was so hard for me to grasp that. I'm just like, why do they need to be male or female? Why can't it just?
Same, but then I realized I got it a little bit when I read a really bad translation from Russian, and like I understood some of the stuff it meant, even though like it had masculine and feminine pronouns that didn't belong in English. But I was like, oh, I get this. Like, so it actually worked reverse for me. It doesn't really work for me when I'm like trying to apply it to another language, but
What if all the languages in the Tower of Babel way are like a broken spell, and English is like the reason that we're all waking up is because all the spells are like mushed together. Like like American English is like this like mush of like broken slang, and like the same way we find tones that feel good or truth that resonates, like words that become our slang just hit, like we just let it be, and that's
there's
just
something about English, like the whole like pun on words thing, like the sun and the sun, the death of the sun, the death of the sun, but it's really the same thing, the sun, the son, and it's all seriously the same story,
We sound like
the resurrection.
we sound like Sims characters to the rest of the world. We sound like we speak gibberish.
do we sound like this? Zara say, Zara sa.
I swear, it
Y'all wanna make
sounds
whoopee?
ridiculous.
Maria, you're a Zeppelin fan, right?
Big Zeppelin
The
fan.
biggest Zeppelin
What are
fan.
your thoughts on the Robert Plant 80s albums?
Oh, I mean, we all have our moments, I guess. Like, fucking Garth Brooks and what was his alter ego, Chris?
Christopher Gaines.
Chris
Garth
Haynes.
Brooks.
Chris Gaines.
Up, guess.
Chris Gaines. I like him, dude. It's
I like
cheesy, but
people talk about like the All of My Love and like that being a bad album. Like, I love all of it. I love everything they put out. Like, some of it's not my favorite per se. But like, this gets into a discussion of like, sometimes I get DMs that are like, I'll post a Led Zeppelin song and they're like, "You're satanic. You're worshiping the devil." And it's like,
I love that.
Let's tell this story.
first off, I don't think the devil exists, but okay, sweetheart. But I mean, the way that like so many people think there's just like one answer to everything, and that like I can't transmute. I mean, yeah, maybe they were worshiping Satan when they were writing all of these songs, but like I don't really give a fuck. You know what I mean? Because like when I heard them for the first time in elementary school, I wasn't like hailing Satan, So
No,
Yeah.
I
I
think
don't
this
care.
whole like
I don't
music.
like what people tell
Yeah.
me.
Yet.
Don't tell me what my experience is.
Right.
Because if you just take a
Dude, I
child,
gotta
like a toddler, and you just put on music, like supposedly, Satan was the worship leader, or Lucifer was, whatever, right? Like he wrote the music. So if you want to go there, like, but I just think of little kids dancing.
But
So I just think the soul wants to dance. The soul likes music.
for me, music is frequencies, and there's different frequencies that we can't even hear. So it's like it's just a melody of frequencies, and it all links with color, sound, vibrations, matter. It's all one and the same. It's that's what it is. The color scale matches with the musical scale and the vibrational scale, and it just
You can
goes
see it.
infinite, and then it goes into the realm of the existence that we cannot see with our naked eye, but it's there. Like the ether, we can't see it, but it's there.
Chaney, are you keeping this up because you want me to say something about the conspiracy theory about Garth Brooks being a serial killer?
Yeah, he is. He is a serial killer.
I
Get
was
into it.
scrolling through like
Yeah,
I was just waiting for somebody to stop talking.
I
so
was
could
gonna
bring it
say
up.
it, but I let it
I
go.
was like, look at how much creepier he looks just as Garth than
He
as
does look
Chris
creepy.
Gaines.
So if you're not aware, whoever's listening, I don't have a lot of like stats impromptu at this moment, but there is a conspiracy theory that analyzes the locations of Garth Brooks concerts in conjunction with like cold cases, missing people, and like there's some sort of correlation between where his concerts are and homicides that occur while he's there. And so there's this big theory that he is a serial killer and his concerts mask what he does at night.
Because who wouldn't get in a car with Garth Brooks?
Robin
I mean-
Williams is the Golden State Killer. I
Because
think
who wouldn't get in a car with Robin Williams? It's Robin Williams. Like, yeah, dude, let's go.
no, but it's also like the Garth Brooks
Also,
thing. Yeah, go on.
Sakura brought this to like attention of people, but he is not the inventor of this theory. Like, it has existed long before Tom Segura.
I feel
Okay.
like this is why it started. I think it's this video I'm going to show you guys that this is why Tom Segura and wait, no, it's earlier than this, but this is just one of them. I am obsessed with Garth Brooks' Instagram. If you guys haven't gone and watched this alien clone pretend like he's human, you have to do yourself the favor and watch. But like
this is a
with Ukraine,
sure.
especially the refugees.
There's a global initiative, and of course, supplies and aid is already spread thin. And this is where you come in. We need your help. We need you to donate.
Yeah, I mean, we always ask for love and prayers. Please keep doing that. But we're also going to ask you, dig in your pockets. Be part of the greatest global relief plan mankind has ever seen.
Everybody deserves dignity. Everybody deserves a roof over their head to feel safe. You can be a part of that.
Yeah, amen. So join us, won't you?
Yeah.
Oh, amen.
Stand up for mankind.
Stand up
for
for
Ukraine.
Ukraine.
What was that laugh?
There's
Everybody,
something
Garth Brooks.
that I really believe in.
And we're proud to say, we
And the
stand
funniest
with
part
Ukraine,
is
especially
Tom
Ukraine.
Segura and his wife Christina Pajinski. They look enough like Garth Brooks and Trisha Yearwood that it's extra funny.
Doesn't she have a cooking show?
Who, Trisha?
That lady?
Yes.
Trisha Yearwood or
Yes.
Christina P?
No, the lady that was
She
just
does.
okay. Yeah, I was like, she looks familiar. I used to watch her. I think. Okay.
Follow.
Garth Brooks.
What was it called? Southern Kitchen or something like that?
I don't know. I've never heard of it.
I love the Food Network. I
Maybe
loved
like
it.
At Home. Was
was
it like
my
At
show.
Home with Trisha?
Yeah,
Something
something
like
like that. Yeah. Yeah, you're
What was
right.
Trisha Yearwood's country song? She had like one good
She's
hit.
in
Was
love
hers
with
like
the girl. He's in love with
boy?
the girl.
Not to spare.
Oh yeah, she's in love with the boy. That's it. Got my pronouns mixed up. Sorry, guys.
Even if I have to run away, she's gonna marry that boy someday.
Yes.
I remember that song.
The thing
That's
is,
when country
Garth
was
Brooks is a psyop and a murderer, but I love his music.
Aren't they all?
Led Zeppelin, Satanic, love them too.
Love them too. And the Beatles. What's your feeling about the Beatles?
CIA.
I mean, I think everyone's a CIA agent, but they made some great music while they could, you know?
why not?
The White
It's
Album.
art.
Right.
If I were CIA, I'd make music.
What a better way to hide it in art.
What a better way to get a W-2, you know what I mean? Like, I work for the government, but I get to pretend I'm the biggest band in the entire world. And, like, you know, sometimes I got to convey a little, like, information here and there, but, like,
Well,
Little
and you know,
mustard
that's I still have a resistance to thinking that way about the Beatles because like it's so nostalgic for me.
oh,
You know,
you can't remove your
I
emotion from the
love
discussion.
it, but
That's how he is with the moon
But-
landing too. I'm
Do you
just kidding.
believe the moon landing is
after
real?
looking at the
For real, Chaney, at this point.
Gee.
okay, we can talk about the moon landing too.
God.
Even the Stanley Kubrick, The Shining
No,
reference is enough.
Yeah.
No, I was just saying that after looking into the whole Paul is dead thing, like really, I really think they replaced him.
Yeah, for sure.
And the only reason they would have is because they were already government assets. They would have that ability to do that. And what's his nuts, I think, had those connections. George Martin.
Part of what I think what occurs is imagine a really intricate puzzle. And then imagine that the architects remove maybe like 25% of the puzzle pieces, and then they throw the rest into the world. And so, like, the Beatles, in and of themselves, so they make great music? Yes. Were they agents? Yes. So, like, all of that stuff is a puzzle that is never meant to be solved. Like, you will never find the 25% remaining pieces to get to the end of that rabbit hole because it was designed to be never ending. It was designed for, like, the conspiratorial mind to, like, go down that way. And, like, that's what I think sometimes. So, like, all
Or the maze wasn't designed for you.
the good call.
Or if this is a simulation, why would we pick any of these characters, and why wouldn't I pick the ruler of the world? Like, hello,
It's not
higher
your
up.
It's not your simulation.
Whose simulation is it?
I mean, you chose to participate in this sim.
Yeah.
You're
Yeah,
not the
why
architect
would I
of this
choose this
sim.
sim?
You're
and
here to
not
learn something.
fucking Queen or Princess Diana? Like, why didn't I choose
Maybe
that? Like,
maybe
what the
you've
fuck?
done all of those roles before
Maybe I
and you
have.
wanted something challenging.
You're right.
I do love Katie
This
Lang.
is strange. Just strange. Very
Katie Lang. She started the gender bending on the magazine
Yeah.
cover with Cindy
Yeah.
Crawford.
Gender bending. It's like air bending in Avatar.
In country, there was kind of she was like the first character in country.
I
where she,
picture like the last airbender just then, but it was like the last gender bender. And it was like their genitalia like going in slow motion. Yeah, lighting up. Sorry, that is a deep, nerdy cut.
Ah.
That's a deep, nerdy gash.
I definitely would use my boobs as a weapon if I was a body bender, for sure.
Your boobs?
You say that, and my head goes straight to like Austin Powers and the girl. With the,
That's what I
Yeah.
thought too. A fembot.
as if you don't know.
Fembot, that's what it was.
A fembot. I don't know. That seems painful.
I have a
Just
bunch of
shoot out your nipples.
customers
I don't
who
want any of that.
love watching us, by the way. And I got a new customer, like, you podcast? Oh my God, give me the podcast. I love watching podcasts. So him and his wife will be watching. Shout out to all my customers. I love you guys. You guys rock. Just saying. There's a
Big
bunch
up.
of them. Big ups.
Big up. Make sure you take care of your servers and bartenders.
Make sure you tip.
Please take care of your
they all
servers
do.
and
I love
bartenders
them.
before you leave.
No, they're wonderful. They all do. They're my people. They take care of me.
That's sweet.
Yeah.
I don't think any of my customers, patients know.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see. We will see how long it lasts.
Yeah, they start to come
I
out.
tell everybody.
You find out the people that watch.
I know.
It's just so much fun. Like, we have so much fun in here. We just shoot the shit and just say, what if? What the fuck? Why not? I love it.
What the fuck? Why not?
Yeah.
If like you guys were talking about song and stuff and harmony and all this frequency and even owning a frequency or even chords that are like this special code that make up every single pop song that is almost like a sugar, like it's sweet to all of our ears in that same way, like this certain frequency or tone or chord. So then we were also talking about the ionosphere and that, like, if dragons didn't need wings, maybe they were more like a serpent, just relying on the energy. So what if there is a harmony that you need to fly?
Hmm.
Well, what if it's just all harmonics, and that's what electricity even boils down to? Well, it is, because it's sine waves. It's all that's what it is. It's all waves. It's all sound.
Maybe it's just finding a
denser waves.
true connection with all the four elements to gain that full connection with the ether, because you can't just connect with one, like I don't know, like electricity. Maybe you have to like find a way to connect deeply to all of the things so you can connect easily and just float.
Isn't it kind of like
State
the
of being.
Matrix? Like
Yeah.
Matrix 1, when Neo is trying to learn how to jump. You know what I mean? Like, he
Yeah.
had the ability the entire time, but he had to like mentally get there and like truly believe.
There's something missing.
Do scarab beetles levitate from frequency?
I thought it was because of the structure of their wings, and underneath their wings, the way it's designed, it causes a hovering state with the ether.
Yeah, bumblebees aerodynamically should not work, but their wings create a vibration that actually creates like a levitation. And the way that an insect's wings should not, in theory, work. I mean, understanding this is our limited version of aerodynamics too. So, and how things move in the world.
Well, since they can make the mosquito now and create artificial mosquitoes, do you think that maybe they figured out what the vibration or the frequency is that makes the bee or the mosquito, whatever, fly. Do you think they found it? That
Sure. They know that everything's vibration.
ketone,
Keynote.
the
Ketone. Ketone is what you pee when you eat a lot of fat.
Ah,
Actually, it's another. You don't just pee them though.
It's
It's
what
actually
your body
ketones are
needs.
another fuel for your body, an alternative fuel
Yeah.
to glucose.
So somebody in the chat said, aren't dragons they usually make their wings pretty pronounced? And I would say that's true when you look at a lot of medieval stuff, but never when you look at any Chinese depictions of art or any Chinese dragons. They never have wings. It's
Well, and then you go back to the whole Bible of it all, and it said that God punished the serpent and said, "You'll slither on your belly."
yeah, so it's like if
I always think of that, like,
energetically,
I felt like it was a dragon.
and I think Marco Polo, even the dragons he wrote about pulling carts, didn't have wings.
Tila Tequila says she met God and she said God is a dragon. Yes, she said this because she was seeking answers and she's been looking for God, and something happened to the extent where God showed himself and it was a dragon, like Yahweh the dragon. That's what she said in her words. Yahweh.
Tila Tequila.
Yeah.
And then 2024, we're leaving the water rabbit and going into the dragon.
If I believed in God, which I don't, which wouldn't you imagine that he would be some sort of shapeshifter and could appear in like whatever form that individual needed, or you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
Well,
not to,
here's
like,
an interesting
no
thing.
disrespect, Lala. I don't know. Tila Tequila's
Like
not like a germane point to the discussion for me per se, but
an interesting thing, they
The whole
always said,
idea of Yahweh.
like Yahweh or like a dragon breathes fire. And another story you would have is like Moses walking up into the mount and seeing the face of God and looking at it and melting his flesh off. So if a dragon breathed fire, that would be an interesting correlation to make from the Bible to Moses actually seeing God.
Interesting. And then the whole
on
Sophia of
shrooms.
it all and birthing Yaldabaoth, or right? And that's
Yeah.
like a serpent, like dragon being,
Yeah.
lion thing.
It actually, if you think of Yaldabaoth a little bit, it almost looks more similar to the Chinese dragon, where
Right,
it's
it does.
almost like that like it has that lion representation and the serpent.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So then it's kind of crazy. This is wild, but we're in the right place for it. If in a Chinese dragon type way, in a like red like wave of like whatever the Great Wall of China, people say like the Tatarian Great Wall of China is like built the way toward China, like whatever they were trying to keep out. What about if it was like Yaldabaoth country?
Hmm.
And they like had it quarantined off and they were like, oh, finally, but now we're in a time of like
Yeah,
being ruled by it.
Where's that shut tiny little subgenre? Yaldabaoth country.
Yaldabaoth country. That comes right after lesbian country.
All seven, and we'll watch them fall.
Oh yeah.
Takes me back to the
Sexy idea.
demiurge, because I feel like that's about the demiurge.
Dragon.
what
And
if
Yaldabaoth.
the Great Wall of China is like a grid, like a wall, like Jurassic Park wall keeping them in?
I don't
You know,
even
like,
think it's the Great Wall of China. Structurally, how it's
He thinks it's
designed.
just a barely average wall. Sorry.
Who, me?
It's an okay
Who,
wall.
me? No, I think
It's all right.
it's not Chinese. I think it's either
You know, it wasn't made in
hard to-
China.
It was an
it's-
American wall.
It's an
It's a
American wall.
Tartarian wall, from
That's
what
how
I
you know it's the
understand.
greatest wall.
Yeah, don't get stuck. Don't get stuck.
Because
doing
the defense mechanism, that's all you got to look at the Great Wall of China. The way that I guess where the archers or the cannons would shoot out of is not facing where it should be, opposite of China. It's actually facing China. So they're saying in theory that the whoever built the wall was protecting the Chinese, the people from China coming out of China.
That's what I'm saying
Yeah.
about the dragon. Like if it's
Yeah.
Yaldabaoth country, what if they built a wall
To
around
keep it
it
in, kind of
to
like the
keep it in?
Titans, keep
So
them
then they
caged.
put the wall to face all the weapons toward it.
In that long fucking manner.
And so then if you look at all the Chinese representation, they have this long dragon going down the street. All their parades are this long dragon. Outside of every Chinatown is
The
two
lion's head
dogs,
and
dragons, and one
serpentine.
of them has this sacred geometry and one of them has the globe. They're both like holding these things in their hands. So it just seems like, what if that thing was represented, this Yaldabaoth type character in there, and the Tatarians, the Russians, the Sovereign Union, the Soviet Union, like put a wall around it at one point. And that's why you also look up all in those mountains, and you can look up the Chinese Muslims, but you also have all the Kyrgyzstan and all the like Dagestani and all of the stands, any of the stands through there, those people are hardcore. Like
Yeah.
those people know how to fight. And so
Yeah.
if like you would have those kind of warriors still in existence if those people kept something bigger at bay.
Yeah. There's actually a YouTuber who actually studies the structures, or I guess mountain ranges that are just sporadically in weird odd spots, and a lot of them do resemble dragons. Like he'll zoom in and you'll find the scales on these, the patterns, and I'm starting to believe that a lot of these dragons are petrified mountain ranges, I would say. Interesting finds. If I knew his YouTube off the top of my head, I'd give it to you guys, but I don't.
Don't we have this other thing too? We were talking about Genghis Khan, of like maybe being somehow the last Tatarian in ways, and people saying that, you know, he populated so much of the planet. And they're in, like, think of now China, what did they do to all their people a few years ago? They have this one child policy and like slaughter most of, like every kid they have. Like they're killing a bloodline.
Yeah.
Like they're trying to off a thing. And make AI sex that much more easy to come by.
I gotta go get an apple. Wake myself.
Easy to come by.
I just recently
to
saw a
come by.
movie called The Creator, and it was all on AI and how they eventually something happened with AI that destroyed, I guess, a huge part of Los Angeles, and then they put a huge ban on AI, but it was actually humanity's fault and error for this event to happen. So there's this huge ban on AI, and the only place that was for AI technology and robot technology was China. So they called it New Asia in this movie because I guess shit just fucking hit the fan at one point globally. It's a fucking interesting.
I have to add something to this because somebody said the Great Wall of China is the Silk Road. It begins and ends at the water. Cargo, it wasn't a wall, it was a road. Same with Hadrian's Wall in the UK. So here's an interesting thing about the Silk Road. If we're just talking about what we've been talking about tonight, what makes silk?
Worms.
Worm. Dragon.
Wormholes, baby.
Worms mean dragon or parasite or vril. So it's just like you have this thing that we've always thought of as Silk Road, but it's all like, it's just like hidden history somewhere. Or like it's, I mean, at the bare minimum, it's all just human trafficking to me. But in a magical realm, if worm always means dragon.
Yeah. Crazy. We're all in Wonderland, y'all.
The upside down.
Well, do you guys know what the
You
Silk
are a
Road
little
is
rubber
as it relates
bandy.
to the dark web? Okay, I'll come I'm not.
You're rubber bandy. You gotta come again. No, still not there.
Reception.
Not there
I
yet.
was
It's
gonna
because
The,
of
the
the wall in
satellites.
America.
The satellites aren't reaching.
what were you gonna say, Abby?
Well, because somebody in the chat mentioned that the wall that goes from Alaska to Missouri, but there is a wall, and it's all ancient stones or whatever.
Like
Nobody
underground?
knows who made it. No, it's above ground, but nobody knows who made it.
Huh.
It's been there longer than the Native Americans. It's ancient, and it's here in the United States. So it kind of like ties into the whole grid line idea too. So
Missouri Great Wall.
What about the idea of all these lands being together in one little spot and then something happened and everything split apart?
Like Pangea?
Yeah.
Well,
Oh,
that's the idea they try to
I
teach
love
us in
plate
school.
tectonics.
Yeah. Like, what if
That
that
can't be
happened?
the right idea at all.
But like, if
Because
everyone,
100% of the stuff they taught us in kindergarten is the biggest lies, and that's one of
yeah,
the things they like. They're like, here's how the world was.
a meteor came and
Yeah,
killed all the dinosaurs and
plants.
everything split.
We're on liquid.
Uh,
It's funny that the world is so liquid on plate tectonics, but it's not liquid. Like, oh, these are all just earthquakes. It's like like Alaska's just getting closer and closer and closer over there. I'm more of an expanding Earth theory. Like where I think if it was all attached, like it wasn't a water planet once or something, where the water's coming from inside of it, instead of having a molten core, if everything they tell us is a lie, it probably has a water core. And so when it spreads, more water just comes out of the core.
Or what if more land comes out of the set in the whole flat earth idea and they have the center where the Mount Meru is in the middle? What if more land just produces from there and just expands in that expanding, ever expanding?
Like Brill?
Yeah, like that's where the land comes from. That's where source is, the center. You know, where all that energy comes out. What if land? Ooh, excuse me. What if land just goes through there, like grows through there, or forms through there with
That's
that
kind of the
vortex
Vesica
energy?
Pisces idea a little bit. If you or in the visual, the Avatar one where they first get on the dragons and they start flying around and how the world's upside down and right side up, or even how what kind of sphere were you talking about? My Marie, if you're back, but the Riemann sphere.
Yeah.
It's like even that same idea how it's like when people say the earth is donut shaped, they're trying to explain that idea where it's like flipping in on itself.
In the Magicians, it's donut shaped.
Donut. Shout out Donut.
Shout out, what up, Donut?
What up, Donut? Donuts on the timeline.
Can't believe I found out he lives in Phoenix.
One thing
That's okay.
Donut reminded me of for our BAAL, our ball drop coming up on New Year's Eve. We will be here at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we're going to hang out until the ball drops Eastern Standard Time, and maybe longer if it's hot enough, because the Secret Society of Good Guys all just happen to be available during that time. And we are going to have some VIP guests join us and hang out, and it will be black tie affair, or at least dress to impress. So if you're in the audience and you're staying home and you feel like tripping on mushrooms or cracking a bottle of champagne or smoking a bunch of joints or just staying completely sober and celebrating with all your sobriety chips, you can come hang out with the Secret Society of Good Guys on New Year's Eve.
Honestly, where would I rather be? Would I rather be out with the NPCs and just like getting shit-faced and like I don't even drink anymore? Like, what am I gonna do out there? I'd rather be
my
here
homies,
with
right?
people I care about, hang out with the chat, listen to what everyone has to say. That's a fucking great time for me. You know? Like, I wouldn't change it.
Yeah, maybe people will get a little mushy, a
Yeah.
little sparkly, a little stony baloney, a little fizzy.
Yeah.
Yeah, why not?
I'm
And
excited.
we'll talk about the best and worst of 2023. And I just mine's Brittany with knives. I'll already tell you. But we talked about so many other things already in this episode that I think will be interesting, like add-ons for um like I even think the submarine I was thinking about, it was such a big, huge thing of 2023. But
For a lot of people,
no.
for me, I was just like, oh, I'm not paying attention to this bullshit. But seriously,
Well, I didn't either.
It was a big deal.
And I don't remember what the name of it was.
Titan. It was the
What's the name
Titan
of
because
it?
the whole
Titan.
Titanic
Yes,
idea of
yes.
it
Yeah,
is the
yeah, yeah.
Titan.
And the
And we
giants
dug
of
into
it
those
all.
things.
Yeah, and the giant of it all.
Giants back on a timeline.
Yeah, and giant
Yeah.
trees, the dragons,
People.
the Nephilim.
Yeah.
Even the word Nephilim to me sounds like they fell. Like Nephilim.
Well, Nephilim in Albanian
Nephilim.
it means in the beginning. Nephilim
Huh.
in the beginning. Literally. Now I'm telling you guys, there's something about the Albanian language that you guys keep skipping over and doing this and all this other shit. I'm telling you, not because I'm Albanian, but dig into what Albania truly was, not the shit that they fucking feed you. I will give you references if you need them. But the Albanian language is the root of, I would say, all languages, even the Semitic, even ancient Egyptian. Like, I have shit on it. Like, it blows my mind. And I want you guys to, like, blow your minds as well. Not, like, literally, but you're missing on something golden. not
golden shit.
Yeah, bro. Like, I'm telling you. Everyone looks at the Vikings and all this other,
Yo,
like,
that shit is
you guys are
golden.
missing it. You're missing it big time. The Vikings then ain't shit compared to what the ancient Illyrians, the even on the language tree. Albanian language is the root. It's like near on the bottom of the near the root. It's its own thing, and it's its own separate thing.
The root.
And I'm learning some shit with China and or is it Japanese or the Chinese? I'm
Did
not
you guys
sure.
have dragons in Albania?
Yeah, we call them kulshedra.
Was there a two-headed dragon?
I don't know about a two-headed dragon. There's stories of a seven-headed dragon, and then there's one of Kulshedra the dragon, who is a water dragon, and they used to sacrifice people or children to her if there was a drought or something. They would do a sacrifice, and that dragon would produce
Is Albania where they got the word albino?
Albania.
Like, were
No.
you guys whiter?
No, but
Were you guys the original white devil?
okay, so the Aryans, okay? Aryans does not mean white, okay? Aryans means Aryan. Aryan means the golden ones. So they took that word and turned it into the white ones, but it's actually the golden ones. There's just so much.
Do Aryans shit more gold?
Well, everybody, you're the golden ones. Everybody are the gold. Like you are the golden ones. Like, people have to understand what we are. Like, not even to bring religion into it, but like, fucking the devil had. If the devil was real, the devil bowed down. The devil was asked to bow down to you, okay, and he refused. But every other angel bow down to you. Just know what you are in that sense. Like, you are more than that they tell you. But there's something about Albanians that's just, I can't put my finger on it. It's different. It's not to toot my own horn, but it's just different. And not just Albanians, it's that whole area in that Greece, like the Romans, even in Italy, Romania. It's like one big pool now. It's like all jumbled up of what you could be, but it all stems to Illyrian, ancient Illyria, like back in the day. Illyricum.
And that reminds me of the whole Game of Thrones and the Valyrians, like Valyrian still, and it was all
Yeah.
the dragon. They were the dragon people. They were the dragons.
hmm And they're even finding out the connections with China and
Say the word.
It's so weird.
Layla, say the word again.
Arian.
No, the for the dragon.
Kulshedra.
Oh my
Bless you.
gosh,
That's
Gordy
true.
is allergic to
Hey.
Albanian dragons. He like
It sounds like Gojira, like the original Godzilla.
Well, we're
where
still
it
one
is
country
So giant
Huh.
that has
lizard.
not been like fully conquered in a sense. We still have like a pure bloodline that's still like pure, that hasn't been like fucked with by last name. Like we can like go back down to like this fucking last name that still exists today. We're so proud when it comes to that, but it's an Indo-European culture
Layla,
that we hold on to still.
are there any Albanian Mandela effects, or do they only happen in America?
I don't know of any Albanian Mandela effects. Not one to this day.
Huh.
Nobody's talked
Mandela
about it.
effects, what I truly believe, our government done things to try and fuck with the people's minds. I don't think they're real in that sense. I think they're government psyops. They're cool, but I've seen evidence of I've watched Shazam. Okay, it existed. Some people say it never did, but I
I've watched
think you
it
just
too.
never were on that timeline. Yeah, I just don't think they
have
were on that timeline.
clear memories, like not something that I'm like placeboing myself into. But I would feel differently about the Mandela effect than you do in that sense. The only thing I wanted to add when I couldn't talk earlier is you guys were talking about the Silk Road. And I
Yeah.
was wondering if you knew that the Silk Road was a reference, like what it was on the dark net back in the day.
No, do tell.
Tell us.
Yeah,
Oh
tell us,
yeah, the
yeah.
black market.
So the Silk Road is one of the like original black markets on the dark web. Right. This was like the infancy of crypto. But that's what crypto they originally were using it for, was you could get on the Silk Road and you could purchase any drug in existence. The only drug, so my ex-fiance was obsessed with the dark web and the Silk Road back in the day, and he was obsessed with a Quaalude. He wanted to find like an OG
Hell yeah.
70s Quaalude, and he spent like a great deal of time looking for them. But it's just interesting
that.
Successful?
No, he was never successful in finding them. But the Silk Road is just an interesting analogy in that way.
They did a lot of that stuff. I almost wonder if some of it was to like slowly bury history. Like slowly, because then the Silk Road becomes this like, place you can find it, dark web, and then it slowly like goes away and loses any weight. Like a rewriting. Like I always compare everything to the W movie by Oliver Stone. Like in just the short amount of time, he goes from being like a war criminal to just a dumb Southern guy with a really rough dad.
Strange. That's some good marketing.
Yeah, and look at him now. He's like besties with Michelle Obama in pictures, and they keep showing us all these like really cute, anytime they're together, like little interactions.
Doesn't it blow your mind that an ex-president and his wife would direct a fucking movie? Doesn't it blow anybody's mind?
Did they direct it or produce it?
Were they actual? I don't think they were directed
Yeah, I
or
think
produced
they
it, yeah.
and they have an
Excuse
ownership
me.
interest
Yes,
in Netflix.
yes. Isn't it strange?
No, I don't think that's not atypical
No?
to me at all. That's just it's a financial position.
But all of Netflix to me seems like an entire I mean every single thing on TV, but Netflix specifically is like such a guided brainwashing, like such a very like pinpointed, like it pushed the veganism thing just so it could push the Bill Gates meat later on. If you tune on Netflix right now, every single show has a subplot of a religion, state, people that you're not allowed to talk about. Every subplot of every single thing. It's like, we're gonna Technicolor World War II. We're just gonna have some run-of-the-mill romantic comedy, but these people can't be together because of this religion. And it's like, no matter what show it is, it's like they're really trying to lean into this, the like, you know, Anne Frank vibe.
I had that situation in real life where I wasn't allowed to be with someone because of their religion, but I was young. I was dumb and young and, programmed and conditioned and all of that. I did a lot of deprogramming. It's fucking
You have to unlegion to religion.
for real. How sad is
Religion.
that? That's so fucking pathetic.
Oh my gosh. I almost married a
I
man.
kind of like that. The religion.
I didn't really almost like I was engaged, but I thought in my head at some point
Oh
that
my
I was
God.
gonna have to follow through with my Southern, like, Episcopalian brain of like, okay, you had your college fun. You've almost died by having your face be a seed enough, Chaney. Time to get married and have some babies.
So what do you think that
Mhm.
version of you is doing? Like, if
The
all
Southern.
versions of you exist, what do you think her life's like?
Ugh, she's laying in a pool. She has a pool because if I did that, I would have like, ugh, I would have like I'd be in a gated neighborhood, and my kids would be like in gymnastics, and one of them would like do some other like rugby, like it would have been the worst. Like if I was gonna lean all the way into that, like a private school.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Jamie.
I like to think of my other versions. I'm like,
Me as a
she's really
straight
happy.
Christian lady, I don't think I would be happy. I would be so busy.
Yeah.
Straight Christian lady, just church choir, and now I have to bake this. Like all of a sudden the LARP was just exhausting.
Like that lady.
Do you think about that? Do you think about that sometimes, Abby? Like growing up in the church, how you could have been, like now?
Well, I didn't really grow up in the church though. See, that's like
Oh, you didn't?
no.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You just got sucked into.
My
Okay.
mom read this book called the Urantia book, which is like a version of Christianity. But like, so my whole life was like, I was surrounded by Christian friends. And my mom was like, okay, well, we believe in God and we believe in Jesus, but the Holy Bible is wrong. We believe in the Urantia book. It's the real truth, but you can't tell anybody about it. So that was my childhood. So then I'd go to church and I was the heathen because my mom didn't go to church with me because she read the Urantia book. So no.
Interesting.
I was
What
very
does this
different.
book say?
It's pretty interesting. It is interesting. I have a copy of it. Like it gets into the whole 7 harmonics and 7 colors. It talked about how people used to be 7 different colors, but it also gets into the story of Yeshua, Jesus. Talks about his early childhood where the Bible doesn't really get explicit there. It talks about the first people who were not Adam and Eve. It talks about they were actually kind of more spiritual beings, but allegedly it's written by stars and angels for God. But other people say because it's technically channeled work, and it is very like advanced when you read it, it's insane. But other people who channel work say that it was actually written about like, so the whole idea of the law of one, and Ra is actually, who was the person who was channeled when they wrote the law of one. Ra is actually the planet Venus. So according to Ra, I think the Urantia book was actually written by the planet Urantia or Uranus. which would make sense. But Urantia is supposed to be the Earth book. Supposedly, that's what my mom always told me, that Urantia is really the name of planet Earth. But it kind of to me sounds more like the whole like law of one, where it would actually be Uranus. So I don't know, weird stuff.
Yeah, it's a weird realm.
I was raised by a hippie. That's all there is to it.
No, the thing even about the asteroid belt used to
No.
be a planet, and then it scars Jupiter and blows the face off Mars, and then
Because it was
changes the
all the
sex
planets
of
are
every other
equal.
planet after it. Blow
And
my
we are
mind.
Earth. We're the Earth we're building the Earth archetype right now, which already exists, which is already, a god. But, we're just living out the timeline of becoming that.
And so what happened to the planet that was in between Mars and Jupiter?
So the whole idea of the law of one is that everybody decides their own polarity. So you have to basically, like this density that we're in right now, this life is to choose service to self or service to others. That's pretty much it. That's all you have to do. So if you don't want to keep doing the whole cycle of reincarnation, you got to choose a polarity. So people who keep coming back haven't decided. You only have to be 51% service to others. You don't have to be complete service to others. And if you choose the negative polarity, which is service to self, you have to be very, very negative, in the 90% range. So because it takes a lot of energy to sustain that level of evil, so to speak. But they both serve the one. They all serve God, because which would be you're God. But it all serves you. Evil serves you just as well as good does, because without all the bad shit, you have no reason at all to grow. So that's the whole idea. So this planet that disappeared, each planet is its own version of God. It's a branch of God. So Venus supposedly was a very just like the Venus archetype, loving, it was a feminine planet, and it was very loving. The creatures there, or the people of Venus, didn't have thumbs, so they didn't have a lot of warring. They had to actually work on disputes with each other. They chose service to others. So this planet where the asteroid belt would have been a masculine planet, and it was called Maldek or something like that, Malbec or Maldek. And the idea is that it chose service to self. So the planet is polarizing. So our planet supposedly chose service to others, and that's what's happening. They're trying to prevent it with the whole chemtrails and all that. They're trying to prevent us from upgrading, but our planet's already upgraded. It chose service to self. Anyway, this other planet chose service to others, and as a result, it blew itself up. And so the asteroid belt is pieces of that planet, which is also why Saturn is so negatively polarized, because it's anchoring that missing planet. And so Saturn was supposed to be a masculine planet, but it's taken on it had to take on the feminine. Okay, I'm
Other
messing
way.
up somewhere. Yeah.
No, yeah. You said it's a feminine planet, but it had to take on the characteristics of the masculine.
Yeah.
Because it isn't supposed to be Kronos. It's supposed to
It's
be
crone.
the
Yeah.
crone.
Yeah.
And that's why she's wearing a hat like that. Do you guys have anything to plug besides hanging out on New Year's Eve? Anything between here and there?
Work.
Oh, is it night time?
Oh, you still want to play, girl? I love it.
Yes, you're still
That
here,
was-
please. It's
Well, this is
Let's
where
do it.
I got a 14-hour
oh,
drive.
you're
ahead
still
of me,
oh
so-
good.
this is where we go over to the members only channel. This is where
Right.
we all take off our shirts and
Yeah, play
but
strip poker and shit.
Are
yeah.
you guys will have to hit that
wanted me
link
to
up.
tell everybody about my story.
Yeah, if you want to close out with that. This is part of the, you know
Telling
what?
Chaney.
You should do whatever you want. There's no fucking rules.
No rules.
And
No rules.
So I was
yeah,
telling
real quick before you tell this story, to your audience, if they hear this, are you going to be getting to them anytime soon? Do you have anything to plug?
yes, my
Or
only
you don't
New
wanna get
Year's
that
resolution. No, my only New Year's resolution is that I will come out of my podcast retirement.
Nice. Yeah.
My
Good.
Maria
I love it.
777 on all
Love
platforms. Find me, follow me,
Perfect.
become a member of the class.
And now tell your story about No Rules.
Okay, I was telling Chaney.
That laugh.
Okay, let me ask you guys this question. I was driving. Obviously, I'm on my way home, but on my way out on my trip, it was an 18-hour drive. And I was trying, like, what do you do when you try to keep yourself awake?
I smoke weed.
Like, are there any tricks?
Lots of it.
5 Hour Energy, it's really great. for
Joint
cardio.
after joint after joint. Like I get super stoned. Just so I
Dude,
don't
apple.
feel
I don't
anything.
know. Coffee.
I was
What?
telling Chaney how I was like driving and I was uncomfortable in what I was wearing, and I had like all this stuff up front, like a sweatshirt that I was gonna put on. So while I was driving, I decided to like take my tighter long sleeve shirt off, and then I took my bra off, and then for like 2 hours I just drove topless. So
Hell
nobody
yeah,
could
girl.
see me, but it was so nice and I loved it so much.
Imagine like just being nudist, man. I wonder
Just be
how
like
nudists
tits
feel.
out, driving
Yeah.
down I-40.
So great. Oh, that's so awesome. Oh, I've never done that. I so want to do that.
You got to. It was really nice. I really
We should
loved
just
it.
make a day of the year and put it on the calendar and then just say this is National Tits Out for whatever day. And then it'll just become every day I look at the calendar, it's just like, oh,
This is-
duct tape
this-
your left wrist day. I'm like,
See,
what?
this is how a secret society manipulates the real society.
I'm going to
They
take this
start-
clip,
This stuff in private. You see it right here. It's happening.
post it
They're
on
manipulating.
TikTok, and make it a thing, bro.
Tits out.
For real. I swear.
Hashtag, you have to give it a clever hashtag for marketing. Secret
Tits out
Society
for-
of Good Tits.
Just driving with your tits out, you know?
Yeah, hashtag driving
Yeah.
with your tits out.
Yeah, not the gross one.
Hashtag tits for truckers.
Tits for truckers.
Well,
Hashtag
you know, you're helping humanity there.
Patriot tits.
If you want to hear the
Celebrate
other thing that
freedom with your patriot tits.
That's so dope, though. Oh, I want to
Do
do
you want to hear the other thing I do to keep myself awake when I'm driving? Head over to Chaney's private channel.
Yeah, that is a perfect way to end it. And I guess you can find everything at projectchaney.com for links to everybody on the show. And Paranoid American will be back with us next time. And yeah,
For the
we
ball
love
drop.
you guys.
Yeah, thanks for hanging out, guys.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thanks, Maria, for coming in, too.
Yeah.
Thank you guys.
thank
It's
you.
been a
Thanks for
blast.
having me
No,
on
wait.
the road.
Maria, at the end of the show, we usually initiate people into the secret society, so you can decide how you want to get initiated. You can either get fucked in or beat in, but you don't have to tell the audience. We can figure that out later. All right. Until then.
Until next
Save us, Britney Spears! Can we be saved? God, why is Satan controlling the universe?
out to the good guys. Good guys, good guys, good guys. Witches, widows, bigamists, entertaining, calming linguists. Good guys. Forum of decorum needs a secretive society to advance on philosophies intentionally, magically good guys.